and Oilers on Friday night. But the strength of this Canucks roster in that win was down the middle. Let's start with Max Sasson, the second line center there, who scored the game-winning goal. An AHL veteran now. He was the Rookie of the Year for the Abbotsford Canucks last season, had 42 points in 56 games in the AHL, played his college hockey at Western Michigan and was buzzing all over the ice on Friday night. He'll look to build on that performance. Aatu Räty was also a very strong performer for the Canucks in that win, although his line didn't generate a goal, but skating alongside Arshdeep Bains and Jonathan Lekkerimäki, they had a lot of zone time and really pressed the Edmonton Oilers in the offensive zone. Räty, of course, acquired in the trade for Bo Horvat back in January 2023 from the New York Islanders, and he'll be a key player for the Canucks in this matchup this afternoon. The Jets, meanwhile, 4-3 overtime winners over the Calgary Flames in a matinee matchup on Friday, and they'll be looking to build off that.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously some couple areas to clean up, but for Winnipeg, a number of changes up front and really throughout the lineup, 5 in total. Head coach Mark Morrison saying, hey, we want to make sure that we get everybody into it. You can see pretty much the entire fourth line has changed. You got Ben King up on right wing on the top line, and in goal, Dominic DiVincentis getting the call after Thomas Milic had a really good game. Now, Nikita Chibrikov is one guy that I've got my eye on, just because when Winnipeg was playing well against Calgary, it was all their forecheck, and he had a goal that came off of it. He's also a guy that likes to get on the forecheck. Smaller guy maybe, but plays like he's about 6'4", scored his first NHL goal last year in Game 82 against the Vancouver Canucks. As well, he made his debut in Jets colors in the first game against Calgary. I think he got robbed of an assist because it was his turnover that led to Chibrikov's goal. But Braden Yager obviously came over in the deal with Pittsburgh about a month or so ago. It's a guy that's got a lot of motor. He's got 95 points with the Moose Jaw Warriors last year. He's a guy that can generate offense, generate a bunch of chances for his line mates against Calgary. I look for more of that in this game today.
As the teams get set to take to the ice here in Penticton, plenty of fans in attendance for a matinee matchup between the Vancouver Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets. And yeah, Yager, the former 14th overall pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2023, acquired just last month straight up for Rutger McGroarty. As we see the Canucks take to the ice here, the Jets will join them shortly. And we talk about it every time we come here to Penticton, Mitchell, but this city embraces this weekend so much, so well, and we see it with a really good attendance for an afternoon game here in September.
Yeah, absolutely. I was making my way over to the rink today, and obviously there's a big market outside. There's lots going on. Beautiful weather, like you mentioned, kind of right off the top. I don't know if I've been to Penticton and saw rain until yesterday, and even then, that rain only stuck around for about 15, 20 minutes. But like you said, fans pretty much filing in all over the concourse. It's going to be a great crowd today, and a couple of really good and exciting teams too. So obviously something that you're going to be able to watch. And the other thing that stands out to me about this tournament, you know, when you're down in and around the rooms, every team's got people from the local community helping out, moving stuff around, moving gear, helping the teams feel as at home as possible. So a big shout out to all those people helping with the tournament as well.
Yeah, I was talking to some kids the other day who were on the ice crew, and they could not have been more excited to be involved in this weekend. So anytime the NHL comes to town, even if it is the Young Stars Classic, people get excited here, and they're going to get more excited next week when the big NHL stars roll into town for Vancouver Canucks training camp, which is going to take place in this building as well. We'll get to the drop of the puck in a couple of moments, but first, the singing of the national anthem before the Canucks and the Jets at the SOEC.
Johnny Hockey was drafted by the Calgary Flames in 2011 and electrified fans here in Penticton when we had the honor of watching him lace up his skates at the 2014 Canucks Young Star Classic. The entire hockey community would like to extend our deepest condolences to the entire Gaudreau family. Fans, in honor of Johnny's jersey number, please join us for a 13-second moment of silence for both Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. Thank you. The South Okanagan Event Center recognizes the Penticton Indian Band in the traditional, ancestral, unceded territory of the Okanagan Silks people, on whose lands we live, learn, and do our work. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and join Jana Campoli in the singing of O Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see the rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
National anthem here this afternoon at the South Okanagan Event Center, and with that in the books, it's just about time to drop the puck between the Vancouver Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets at the Young Stars Classic. In goal for Vancouver, Ty Young turned 20 years of age on Wednesday, as you can see there, a fifth-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks in 2022. He had 23 wins in 37 games for the Prince George Cougars in the Western Hockey League last season. At the other end of the ice, it's Dom DiVincentis going in goal for the Jets. 27 wins in 42 games for OHL North Bay. He was the OHL Goaltender of the Year in 2022-2023. Special hello to our listeners on the radio on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver this afternoon. For your benefit, we'll let you know the Canucks are wearing white with blue and green trim and skating from left to right in the first period. The Jets in their blues with white trim will go from right to left. And it's Braden Yeager and Atu Ratu set to contest the opening face-off at center ice. And this afternoon's game is underway as Yeager wins it back to his own line for Dmitry Kuzmin. And the Jets dump it into the Vancouver end. Kirill Kudryavtsev behind his own goal, up the near side for Jonathan Lekkerimäki. Got it to the line, not out, held in by Chibrikov. And chipped behind the Vancouver net. Elias Pettersson onto the boards, far wall. Pressured by Yeager. Chibrikov with a centering feed, looking for Colby Barlow in the slot. It deflected off his stick to the near side. Yeager holds in left point, dumps it behind the Vancouver net. Barlow lets it go up the far boards for Chibrikov. Now back to the right point for Salamonson. Left side Kuzmin, long floating wrister right in on Ty Young, who snares it with the glove hand just 34 seconds into a scoreless first period in Penticton.
And Winnipeg had a strong start against Calgary, scoring 2 goals in that opening period, and a lot of it looked exactly like that. A nice quick start, get in on the forecheck, get everybody involved. And the other thing, too, about how to play defense nowadays is you're getting down that wall so much in the offensive zone that the forward's got to be so aware to keep pucks in. A couple of instances of that on that opening shift.
We saw both Yeager and Chibrikov covering for defensemen on both sides of the ice on that last sequence. Jets forechecking in the Vancouver zone. Romani, middle of the ice for Vancouver, gets it right wing to center for Riley Patterson. He'll clear it into the Winnipeg zone. Dawson Barteau back to it, banks it off the boards and out to center. Sawyer Minio back to it for the Canucks. Try to pass that deflected all the way down. It's icing against Vancouver. Minio into the lineup this afternoon after missing the game on Friday night under the weather. A third-round pick of the Canucks, 19 years of age, a Kamloops native.
And I think it's always cool for this tournament. Anybody that was born in around this province specifically to play in this tournament, have the opportunity to play in front of what I'm sure is a lot of family and friends who make the trip down.
Jets win the draw. Anhorn, left corner, spins back up the wall, protected the puck on his backhand, leaves for Mayo left point. Long shot blocked in the slot by Felton for the Canucks, but he can't clear the zone. Now Anhorn with another long-range shot from the top of the point, and Ty Young makes another save. Also, should mention 3 Manitoba natives on the Winnipeg Jets roster.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, anytime you're able to suit up on that local side of things, and the one that's getting into the lineup today that, you know, really didn't have any opportunity against Calgary has a stat line to keep an eye out for is Mark Lewinsky from my hometown as well, from Dauphin, Manitoba. 310 penalty minutes last year.
In just 54 games in Norfolk in the ECHL.
I would say it's efficient, but I would say that's hard to do.
In the modern game, absolutely. And you imagine he will be a physical presence in today's game at the very least. Canucks breaking out. Here's Vilmer Ulrichsen to the Winnipeg line on left wing. Delays on the half boards. Backhand pass to Klimovich. Centering feed. Top of the crease. Ty Mueller was there. Couldn't jam it home. And back to center for the Jets is Ben King. Try to pass ahead. It's tipped back into his own zone. Dmitry Kuzmin with the puck scored the overtime winner against the Flames on Friday afternoon. Dumps it behind the Vancouver net. Kudryavtsev far side. Played it ahead for Josh Bloom. Couldn't clear the zone. Held in right wing by Brad Lambert. Lambert in the right wing corner. Battling for the puck. Kudryavtsev in there as well. Gets some help from Cooper Walker. But it's knocked free behind the goal by the aforementioned Mark Lewinsky, who's then taken down in a tough battle by Kirill Kudryavtsev. Officials stay, or the whistles stay in the pockets of the officials, I should say. And now here come the Canucks to center with speed. Glover, right wing, right to the goal with a shot right on, and a good right pad save by DiVincentis. Delayed call against Vancouver on that sequence as one of the Jets was felled into the end boards. Canucks will touch the puck, and Winnipeg gets the first power play of the afternoon. 2:26 into a scoreless first period.
And the Jets had to wait until late in the second period for the first penalty to be called in their game against the Flames. They'll get an early power play here. They scored one power play goal against Calgary, but also gave up a shorthanded goal. So something that no doubt they chatted about during practice yesterday. Did a little bit of power play work, but not a lot. And you can see it just kind of comes right at the very end after the initial stop from DiVincentis. It's a little bit of a hooking action going on in there.
Josh Bloom, the guilty party, and the Jets go to the man advantage, trying to open the scoring. It's Barlow with it, right wing in the Vancouver zone. Passes behind the net for King. He mishandled the puck. And quickly onto it was Christian Felton to clear it all the way down the ice. Canucks were 2 for 2 on the penalty kill in their win over Edmonton on Friday. Jets 1 for 3 on the power play in the game against Calgary. And here's Yeager with speed to the Vancouver line. Tried to drop pass, turned it over. And Aatu Ratu is there to once again fire at the full length of the ice.
Special teams always an opportunity to really show what you're able to do offensively, but it's also probably one of the biggest challenges of playing in this tournament. You're playing with a lot of teammates that you may have some familiarity with from development camp, but obviously completely different playing in a game like this.
And in fact, in their morning skate on Friday, the Canucks spent a lot of time working on special teams, and you can imagine that that's part of the reason why is the lack of familiarity with some of these players.
And so many reads, right, that you have to make so quickly, and you want to make sure you're playing off each other and timing everything correctly, especially on the zone entries. That could be a challenge if you haven't played with a lot of your teammates or line mates in this case.
Dmitry Kuzmin gains the offensive zone for Winnipeg, carried to the corner, comes to Shibrikov left wing. Try to pass into the slot that's broken up and cleared all the way back down the ice by Ty Mueller. 45 seconds left in the Winnipeg man advantage. No score. Canucks and Jets from the Young Stars Classic in Penticton. Now here's Chibrikov into the Vancouver zone. Dumps it to the end boards. Pressured behind the net by Felton. Knocks it free right point for Salomonson. We'll play it back down the right wing. Chibrikov cycles to the end boards. Comes to Kevin He behind the net. For Jacob Julian far corner, and now back to Salomonson of the line. Elias Salomonson, left circle, Brad Lambert, back to Salomonson, wrist shot through traffic, but Ty Young tracked it well through the attempted screen of Jacob Julian at the top of the crease, and the Canucks have just a dozen seconds left in their penalty kill.
And not a small frame with Jacob Julian standing in front of you. He had a power play goal against Calgary, very similar, just got to that net front position and knocked in a backdoor pass. This one he's trying to deflect it. The first time in this game, really, that the Jets have had a little bit of traffic in front. They've had some point shots, but Vancouver's done well to clear that net front.
Jets win the face-off. Dying seconds of the power play. Salomonson with a long-range shot, and there was traffic again, but Ty Young makes the save with the glove hand and holds on for the whistle. Young here at his third Young Stars Classic as a member of the Vancouver Canucks. Was on a very good Prince George Cougars team last year that lost in the WHL West Final to the Portland Winterhawks.
And I think as a goaltender, especially if you're not playing every game in this tournament, you're getting arguably your first look at game action. To get a few saves early is always a good feeling.
Jets win the draw again. Here's Chibrikov. Nice move into the slot. Waits and shoots, but he fired it wide of the target. Young might have got a piece of that off the knob of his stick. Bloom is out of the box. Canucks are back to even strength. But the Jets are still buzzing in the Vancouver end. Mueller wins a battle on the near side. And Dylan Anhorn and the Canucks clear it up ice. And we'll try to get in on the forecheck. Ty Mueller, right corner. Battling with Hunter Mayo along the boards. Ulrichsen gets it free to Kudryavtsev, right point. Long shot. Blocked in front. Rebound for Klimovich. He swept it off the outside of the net and chases it down again in the right wing corner. Danila Klimovich, right point. Down the boards for Christian Felton. Centering pass into the slot for Sawyer Mineo. Tried to wind and fire, lost the puck. Ulrichsen gets it. Fans on his shot. Now does get it through, but missed the target. And the Canucks continue to work on the forecheck. Good play by Klimovich to dive and knock the puck away from the Winnipeg defender, Hunter Mayo. Here's Danila Klimovich. Left circle for Christian Felton. Down into the corner, tight angle shot held out by DiVincentis, and he'll get the whistle. 5:22 into the first period. No score. Vancouver and Winnipeg from the South Okanagan Event Center.
It's a nice response shift from the Vancouver Canucks coming out of that penalty kill. Nikita Chibrikov gets probably Winnipeg's best chance on the power play in the final seconds of that man advantage, and then Vancouver comes back the other way. You can see that opportunity. DiVincentis maybe goes off just the side of the net, but that's one of a few chances that Vancouver had on that shift.
And the top line will come out now for Vancouver for the offensive zone faceoff. Ratu thrown out of the circle, so Baines steps in, but loses the draw to Kieran Walton. And the Jets will break out to center. Luke Misselbacher played it to the Vancouver line, delayed offside, allows Baines to drop it deep into his own zone for Joe Arnson. Now for Parker Alcox. Fires it ahead to center, tipped in deep by Lekkerimäki. Chasing down Barteau on the forecheck. And Lekkerimäki gets it right corner for Archie Baines behind the net. Baines, an AHL All-Star last year with Abbotsford. Centers for Lekkerimäki in the slot. He couldn't handle the puck with a bit of traffic to deal with. And it's Marcus Lopinen to center for the Jets, dumping it behind the Vancouver net. Both teams will complete changes as we've just ticked past the 6-minute mark of the first period. Stretch pass goes all the way down off the stick of Joe Arnson, icing against the Canucks.
Nice little move before that dump in by Lopinen. This is his first year playing in North America, so you're getting a little bit of that taste of the different rink size. He had an assist against the Calgary Flames. Just a nice set of hands he seems to have, because even on that assist that he set up for Connor Levis against the Flames, the pass didn't get to him cleanly into the feet, but he did a really nice job corralling it. So just a player confident in the abilities that he can make and the plays he can make with his hands.
Lopinen expected to play for the WHL's Victoria Royals this season after being selected in the CHL import draft. Jets win the draw in the Vancouver zone. Long shot by Yeager, kicked out off the left pad of Ty Young. And there's a battle for the puck behind the net. Salomonson able to hold in right point under pressure from Anthony Romani for the Canucks, but Romani follows up. Cleared the zone with the help of Max Sasson, delayed offside against Winnipeg as it's played back in, and now Sasson will widen to center with speed. Right wing to the Winnipeg line. Tripped up as he gained the zone. Plays allowed to continue. And Misselbacher in his own zone. Tempted to make a rink-wide pass, but it was knocked away by Romani. And the Canucks will try to turn back up ice. Kudryavtsev clears it into the Winnipeg zone. Jacob Julian back to it for the Jets. Fires across to Hunter Mayo. Attempted a pass to center. Intercepted by Glover for the Canucks. He plays it back into the right wing corner. Ty Glover on the forecheck after the puck. It's rimmed around to the far wall. Misselbacher pushed to the boards by Cooper Walker, and the puck is held in left point by Elias Pettersson. Mayo passes to the near side. Chipped out of the zone by Dylan Anhorn as Lopinen forechecks to the Vancouver line, but Pettersson dumps it back the other way. Mayo, rink-wide pass in his own zone for Zalotti. As the Jets come up ice, Lopinen with a long shot, held out by Young. And Misselbacher's after it in the right wing corner. Pushed to the boards by Cooper Walker. Christian Felton in to help out. Archie Baines leaves for Kirill Kudryavtsev in his own zone. Kudryavtsev played it ahead, but Felton couldn't clear. And Kevin He has it left corner. Back to Zalotti at the line. Nice pass left circle. Brad Lambert to the net. Backhand feed. Top of the crease. Young made a save. on the initial tip play by King. Then he was after the rebound, and Young held that out too. Jets hemming the Canucks in here. They haven't been able to clear the zone. Zalotti at the left point. Wrist shot towards the goal, blocked by Kudryavtsev, but held in by King. He's got it on the right wing for Winnipeg. King behind the net for Brad Lambert. Out the right wing side, watched by Cooper Walker. Lambert turns and fires from a tough angle. That deflected off his stick and went through the crease and out the near side. Now he gets it top of the point. His wrist shot deflected off Cooper Walker. Actually hit the skate of Brad Lambert as he was trying to screen in front. Canucks clear the zone, but only momentarily as the Jets dump it back in.
Yeah, good puck movement from the Winnipeg Jets on that sequence. You know, even a nice little play by Zalotti out at the point to be able to ditch his check and set up Kevin He to get a puck to the net.
Salamonson behind his own goal, leaves for Kuzmin in the near corner. Passes middle of the ice, deflected on the backhand by Carson Golder to the Vancouver line. Elias Pettersson back to it, sends it off the wall and into the neutral zone. Salamonson will drop it back on the near side. Kuzmin played it up the wall. And then it's Kieran Walton leaving in his own end. Nearing the midway mark, first period, scoreless game, Canucks and Jets from the Young Stars Classic in beautiful Penticton, British Columbia. As Atu Ratu tips a puck into the Winnipeg zone off a clearing attempt by Sawyer Minio. And the Jets will have to break out from behind their own net. Hunter Mayo near corner, pushed to the boards by Riley Patterson, got it rink wide for Colby Barlow. He clears to center. Only as far as Alcos. Got it ahead for Sasson. Nice deep, trying to go to the goal. His backhander missed wide of the target. Now Alcos gets it again at the line, shoots wide of the net. Mayo's after it far corner for the Jets, pressured by Riley Patterson on the forecheck, gets it free to the line. Alcos again, right circle, tried a shot, blocked off a stick by Dylan Anhorn, and he lifts it to center, but Joe Arnson chops it down. Max Sasson dumps it back in, and the Canucks will get a partial change.
And hasn't this been how the game's gone? Winnipeg has a nice strong shift in the Vancouver zone. It comes back the other way, all started by a really nice play at a one-on-one by Sasson to create the first opportunity.
Now here's Ty Mueller with speed to the Winnipeg line on right wing. Trying to drive to the front of the goal, but dispossessed at the vital moment by Dylan Anhorn. Canucks keep the pressure on. Klimovich right wing, quick shot through a little bit of traffic, but it's gloved and held by Dominic DiVincentis. 9:26 left, first period in Penticton. No score. The Canucks and the Jets at the Young Stars Classic.
Get ready. The highly anticipated Hitman Home Opener is Sunday, September 29th. Be there as the Calgary Hitmen mark the start of their 30th season. Cheer them on against the Lethbridge Hurricanes and take part in home opener celebrations like player introductions to kick off another year of Hitman hockey. Plus, it's Sunday Fun Day presented by Brookfield Residential with reduced ticket prices, fun concourse activities, and food and beverage deals. Your team, our community. Score your tickets today at hitmanhockey.com/tickets.
Hey everyone, it's Leon Draisaitl here. Told you guys last year that Oktoberfest was going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be even better this year. Go get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Prost.
Flames fans, the future is here. With the announcement of our new arena, Scotia Place, there's no better time to become a Calgary Flames season ticket member. Enjoy savings of up to 40% off single game ticket prices and get exclusive access to events and opportunities to meet the team. Plus, you'll be first in line for Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Be a part of the action live and experience every moment from your very own seat. Head to CalgaryFlames.com/tickets today to secure your spot.
Brendan Batchelor and Mitchell Clinton back with you from the South Okanagan Events Center in Penticton. No score between the Vancouver Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets this afternoon. Winnipeg out shooting Vancouver, though, 8-4 to this point of the game. And the Jets have had some good looks and some offensive zone time, especially.
Yeah, Ty Young's been busy, whether it's bodies in front or just plays in and around the net, but he's been able to secure and not really leave much for rebounds either. And that's the thing, when you have that net front traffic like Winnipeg's been able to get, especially on their most recent couple of chances, you want to make sure those loose pucks are secured, and Young's done a really good job of doing that.
Canucks want to face off of the Winnipeg zone. Leckermacki with a quick shot off the draw from the right circle. Held out by DiVincentis. It was a big rebound there. Canucks couldn't get to it, though. And now it's Dawson Barteau behind his own goal. Clears it far point, but it's held in by Atu Ratu. Arshdeep Bains on the forecheck after it, but Bartow chips it off a stick and out of play.
Had a chat with Dom DiVincentis yesterday about going up against a couple former teammates in this one, in Josh Bloom and Anthony Romani. But Anthony Romani, of course, with the North Bay Battalion last year, as was DiVincentis, and had a tremendous season, did Romani, scoring almost 60 goals. I said, what's it going to be like to go up against him in game action? And DiVincentis said, I'm not even telling him if I'm starting. So I'm sure there'll be some fun in the group chat after this one. DiVincentis really looking forward to it.
Romani led the OHL, as you allude to, 58 goals last year, second in the league with 111 points. Big part of the reason why the Canucks selected him this past summer in the 6th round. Jets send it into the Vancouver end. Minio back to the puck, threw it up the far boards. It's batted back deep by Mark Lewinsky, and the Jets will get in on the forecheck. Riley Patterson, rink wide pass to Christian Felton, left wing to center. Takes a big hit of the red line as Kieran Walton stood him up and knocked him down. Canucks get in anyway, and Sasson had a good shooting chance from the right wing faceoff dot. Turn wide of the net. Now Alcos holds in left point. Dumped it back to the corner. Sasson's forechecking. The Jets will break out as Kuzman lifts it to center for Lewinsky, and he'll gain the red line before floating it in deep. Alcos near corner, ahead for Danila Klimovich for Vancouver. Klimovich through the neutral zone with speed. Trying to go 1-on-4 through the middle of the ice into the Winnipeg zone. That didn't work out too well for him. Now another big hit as Vilmer Ulrichsen steps up on Chiprikov on the near side, and the Canucks get it back deep. Physical play starting to ramp up here in the second half of the first period. Now here's Colby Barlow with speed to the Vancouver line. Try to drop pass for Jaeger, middle of the ice. Good job by Kirill Kudryavtsev for the Canucks to break it up. And now there's a battle for the puck at the Winnipeg bench. Hunter Mayo, rink wide near side for Dylan Anhorn. He's hit hard by Glover. And now the Jets go offside at the Vancouver blue line with 7:34 left in a scoreless first period.
And that last shift kind of subs up Nikita Chiprikov's game. We saw the offensive side a little bit earlier on in the shift, or in the period, sorry, and on that last play, takes the hit from Ulrichsen, but then goes right to the front of the net. There's that hit that we talked about, just catches him nice and clean across the middle of the ice there. And then right by the bench, it was Mueller that Chiprikov was pushing with. He's not afraid to get involved physically.
Vilmer Ulrichsen, 6'6", 214. And probably heavier than that now. That's just what they've got him listed at. So a big force when he steps up and lays hits like that. Dawson Bartow behind his own goal for Winnipeg. Plays it up the far boards. Misselbacher tips it out to center. And Ty Glover's back to it at his own line for the Canucks. Glover up the left wing. Pokes the puck behind the Winnipeg net. Kuzman back to it. Pressured by Cooper Walker on the forecheck. And Walker's got the puck behind the Jets goal. To the left wing corner, feeds the line for Sawyer Minio. Tried a long shot, but Misselbacher blocked it all the way back into the Vancouver end. Now Minio, outlet pass to Lekermacki at center, stood up by Kuzman, who lifts it back in wide to the net of Ty Young. Christian Felton, far corner, pushed hard into the end boards by Kevin He. Jets have the puck in the offensive zone. Ben King, left point for Kuzman. Makes a move around Lekermacki down the boards, but Minio knocks it free. Canucks have a chance for a 3-on-2 to center. Ratu, right wing for Bains, leaves for Lekermacki into the Winnipeg zone. Attempted a pass to the left circle for Ratu. Anticipated and intercepted nicely by Elias Salamonson. And now Brad Lambert's back up the right wing with a hard shot from a tough angle into the Vancouver zone. Young makes the save. He holds in right point. To the far corner for Brad Lambert. Battling with Ratu. He in to help out. Cleared it back to the point, but it comes out to center. And the Jets will clear it back in. Under 6 minutes left, first period. Scoreless game. Vancouver and Winnipeg from the Young Stars Classic in Penticton. Max Sasson played it left wing to the Jets blue line for Joe Arnson, who couldn't get it deep, and Colby Barlow's back to center. Barlow with a drop pass for Dylan Anhorn, winding into the slot, lost the puck, comes to Jaeger, right circle with a quick wrister that missed the target and deflects off the end glass and back to center ice.
We've seen it from both teams kind of throughout this period, attacking in layers, whether it's Vancouver off the rush, finding the guy coming in late.
Now here's Jaeger right wing, try to drop pass into the slot. Knocked away by Sasson on the back check, and he'll recover it near corner. Pushed to the boards by Barlow, goes up the wall for Patterson, and his backhand pass rolls out to center onto the tape of Dawson Bartow.
And then even on that last rush, it's Barlow knows coming through the neutral zone, I don't have enough speed to get this 2-on-1 going. Anhorn reads that, jumps up, from the blue line, joins the rush, creates another opportunity for Winnipeg.
Lewinsky dumps it in. Kieran Walton on the forward check for Winnipeg. Pushed to the corner boards on the near side in a heavy puck battle. But it's played free by Carson Golder, who winds it wide of the net. Now Lewinsky on the far side. Cycles it back below the goal line. Elias Pettersson goes up the boards for Vilmer Ulrichsen. He's unable to clear as the puck is fired wide of the net by Walton from long range. Elias Pettersson with it behind his own goal, near boards for Kirill Kudryavtsev. Lead feed to center for Ty Mueller, who tipped it in. Bartow stepped up on it. As Klimovich lays a bump on Zalotti on the forward check. Here's Jacob Julian, left wing to the Vancouver line, clears it to the corner. Sawyer Minio back to it. Able to pass up the near wall for Cooper Walker, who settled it well and centers for Klimovich to center. He clears it behind the Winnipeg net. DiVincentis out of the blue paint to handle. Around to the near boards for Lopinen, forced deep by Bloom behind his own goal. Passes far corner for Salomonson, who has to settle a rolling puck and leave behind the goal for Dmitry Kuzmin. He's hit by Ty Glover as he lifts it far side for Luke Misselbacher. Misselbacher drops to Lopinen, driving towards the Vancouver line, dispossessed by Josh Bloom. Battle for the puck in front of the benches. Goes the way of the Canucks, and Walker leaves in his own zone for Sawyer Minio. Minio with a little bit of time, both teams completing changes, got it ahead to Arshdeep Bains. Now here's Lekermacki with speed, right wing to the Winnipeg line. Lost the puck as he tried to make a move on Hunter Mayo. It's cleared to center, and then Alcos dumps it back in. Mayo for Winnipeg on the breakout. Holding onto the puck, gains the red line on right wing. Yet again, the Jets will try to establish their forecheck, which they've done a very good job of thus far in this first period. But this time the Canucks are able to break out. Ratu to center, turn the puck over. Trying a drop pass, and here's Brad Lambert back in on the right wing, top of the circle with a hard shot. Young fought it off his blocker over the glass and out of play with 3 minutes left in this scoreless first period.
Shows the importance of backtracking, right? Like, I mean, obviously back-checking is something that every coach is going to preach, but you hear so much more of it now, and this opportunity by Lambert is all because he sticks with the Canucks forward heading back up the ice and forces a turnover and comes back the other way. You see it both ways. Teams focus so much on tracking back through the middle of the ice, making sure you're not giving up on plays, because when teams are attacking in layers, if you're not in that position to be able to break that up, you can give up a lot offensively.
As Chibrikov and Pettersson exchanging recipes before the drop of the puck.
A couple of times against Calgary that happened ahead of the face-off, whether it was on Chibrikov's side. Didn't seem to matter who was there. There was some hacking and whacking.
Jets win the draw. Zalotti takes a pass left point from Bartow, spins to the middle of the ice. Back to Bartow, right side, long shot, and another blocker saved by Ty Young, directed out of play.
And it really seems that Winnipeg's emphasizing just getting pucks through to the net in whatever way. We'll get the traffic, we'll time that traffic, we'll try to get them there, but a real emphasis just to get pucks through. A lot more shots from the blue line coming from the Winnipeg Jets in this game than they had against the Calgary Flames. There wasn't a single period where Winnipeg had double-digit shots on goal. They're at 11 so far here. Canucks
have only tested DiVincentis 6 times at the other end of the ice. Have been on their heels for the majority of this first period. And Yeager wins the draw on the Vancouver end to Bartow, right point. Shot blocked by Patterson, far circle. And here's Max Sasson, right wing to center. Sasson pushed to the boards by Zalotti as he dumped it into the Winnipeg end. Bartow, far corner. Got it up the wall, out of the zone. Played back in by Pettersson. Looked like it might have been touched by Romani, but no offside is called, and Zalotti's to center on left wing. Lost the puck. Pettersson at his own line, tried to stretch pass, deflects deep off a stick. Bartow back to it on the end boards. Watched by Romani, drops behind the net for Dylan Anhorn. Or rather, that was Ben Zalotti, excuse me. Now, a rush up the ice for Carson Golder. Into the right corner, Vancouver zone. Try to draw pass into the slot. Kuzmin was sneaking in, but it deflects off a Vancouver stick and all the way back down the ice. Canucks on the forecheck now, trying to create some offensive zone time. But instead, it's Golder back to center with a burst of speed. Pressured by Minio at the red line, and he dumped it in. Felton far boards for the Canucks. Ahead for Ulrichsen. Passes right wing for Klimovich to the Winnipeg line. Danila Klimovich with a long wrist shot. Deceptive release there. Whistled it over the crossbar. Ty Mueller's after it on the forecheck, far boards, with just under 90 seconds left in this scoreless first period. Now here's a turnover and a chance for Josh Bloom, left circle. But a good job by Dmitry Kuzmin to recover and get his stick in the shooting lane to deflect it out of play.
And we've seen good sticks on both sides. We've talked how Winnipeg spent a lot of time in the Vancouver zone, but a lot of the shots have come from the perimeter, and part of that reason is whenever Winnipeg tries to feed it into the middle of the ice, it gets turned over, and then Vancouver taking advantage of an opportunity. Kuzmin just gapping up there and getting that stick in that shooting lane. Another example of good sticks thwarting another offensive opportunity. When Vancouver's been in Winnipeg's zone, they've been able to create.
And they win the faceoff. Here's Pettersson, high slot, long wrist shot, missed the target. Kudryavtsev able to hold in on the right side, but dumped it down the boards, and it's Dylan Anhorn with the puck. Clears it to He, right wing, into the Vancouver zone. Kevin He couldn't contend with a rolling puck, but Kudryavtsev couldn't clear either. He got it back, attempted a pass that was broken up. Now he holds in. Left wing for Ben King. Near circle, back into the slot for He. Tried to take it out his backhand, gets it on the far boards, and turns and fires from a tough angle. Ty Young there to make the save as we enter the final minute of this scoreless first period.
For a brief couple seconds there, Kevin He probably wishing he was right-handed and not left-handed, because he would have been able to one-time that pass from King, but just gets in a little tight. He was going to have to take it on the backhand and then try to shoot, and that's tough to do in that congested area where Vancouver had a number of bodies and sticks, and instead of a chance in that high-danger spot, the shot comes from a much sharper angle, and Young, as he's done all period, has had the answer.
Yeager and Ratu will contest the faceoff to the left of Ty Young in the Vancouver zone. And Ratu wins it back for Minio in the corner, lifts it off the glass and out to center. Arshdeep Baines on the forecheck couldn't come up with the puck. Here's Colby Barlow back into the Vancouver end with a long shot right into the crest on that white Vancouver Canuck jersey of Ty Young.
Centers on both sides getting a workout in this one. A whole lot of whistles in this first period. Yeager's had a pretty successful first in the faceoff dot in this period. Ratu's looking to change that little trend,
as they'll line up opposite each other again, and for the second straight draw, Ratu wins it. Canucks will break out. Baines mishandled the puck at center, lost it to Yeager, who dumped it back into the Vancouver zone. Baines upended him, and the Canucks are able to clear. Dawson Bartow, deep in his own zone, fired it off the glass all the way down. This will be icing against the Jets. Now with 27 seconds remaining in this opening period, from the South Okanagan Events Center in Penticton, no score, Vancouver and Winnipeg.
Bartow had quite the ascension last year. He was kind of the 7th, 8th defenseman on that Manitoba Moose team in the American Hockey League, and then spent some time in the ECHL, and then there was an injury on the Manitoba Moose side. Bartow came up and really became the 3-4 guy alongside Kyle Capobianco.
Canucks win the draw. Kudryavtsev try to pass middle of the ice for Baines, who's forced out to center by Bartow. And here's Lekermacki, right wing for Ratu, into the Winnipeg end. 15 seconds left in the period. Ratu tried a centering feed for Baines, streaking to the goal, but he couldn't tip it on target. And there's a battle for the puck in the left corner. Lekermacki gets it free. Top of the point, Ratu, long drive, stopped by DiVincentis through traffic. Lekermacki gets it again, but they'll run out of time here. One final shot right at the buzzer from Aatu Ratu. And in spite of the fact that the Jets had more of the offensive zone time, created more looks on Ty Young than the Canucks did on DiVincentis at the other end of the ice, it's a scoreless game through 20 minutes.
Yeah, and Vancouver taking advantage on that last shift after the Winnipeg Jets ice the puck. Obviously can't change. You win that first draw, you can create some opportunities on that final shift, and that's what Vancouver did. Winnipeg not able to clear, and they get a couple of good looks on DiVincentis.
Coming up in our first intermission, Jamie Thomas will be joined by Mark Hillier, the director of amateur scouting for the Jets. But before that, let's learn a little bit more about a couple of the Canucks prospects, Max Sasson and Sawyer Minio.
Trying to get behind the defense. Carlson, center feet, they score! Sasson!
I know that earning coach's trust is playing a 200-foot game and playing smart, being on top of guys, and really trying to earn JC's trust of, you know, I could play this guy in big moments. And so far I've done that. Hey, my name is Max Sasson. I'm from Birmingham, Michigan, and I play center. Michigan is one of the hockey op-eds in America, and growing up, a lot of my buddies played hockey, and my dad started me at a young age. By the time I was probably 8 or 9, I was just in love with the game. My brother played. Luckily, we were close enough in age where we could play together up till I was probably like 12 or 13. Growing up, I was just hoping to play Division I, and that seemed like a reach at some points in my career. I played in the North American Hockey League, which isn't the top junior league.
Sasson with a nice move. He scores! Max Sasson!
And then I had to play 3 more years in the USHL. When I was playing in Cedar Rapids, I can't thank Mark Carlson enough. Really started installing the habits and the details of wanting to play a pro game. And then getting to Western, working with Pat Ferschweiler, it was incredible experience. My 2 years there were nothing short of incredible. And then learning from obviously all the guys on this team who have done it, who have been there. A guy like Matt Irwin and Sheldon Dries. John Stevens has played in this league for a while, and just learning how to be a pro, and I'm still learning. Coming here, I really didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to be a lot harder than college. I was fortunate enough to come here at the end of last year and play in the playoffs, and it was, how can I help this team? Those games were battles and super physical and tight checking, and I think I took a lot from that coming into this year and knowing how hard it's going to be and how hard it gets as the season goes on, and adjusting my game to playing against grown men instead of 18 and 19-year-olds.
Now tied up against the boards, freed up for Sasson with the room. His shot scores!
My goal is to play in the NHL and play for the Vancouver Canucks. Just continuing to develop the pro-style game and making sure that I'm reliable and I can drive plays while not giving up much defensively. And I know it sounds cliche, but I think if I'm going to get to the next level, it's going to have to be playing a hard, smart game.
I've always had a smart hockey sense, but I've been doing lots of video and things like that. There's a great coaching staff here in Vancouver and in Abbotsford, so you kind of just have your ears open, and whatever they say, you kind of just absorb it. My name is Sawyer Minio. I'm from Canucks, BC, and I play for the Seattle Thunderbirds.
From Minio to the slide, he scores!
Canucks is a great place to grow up. We lived on the river. We have a backyard ice rink right behind our house. That's all my family would do. Everything about me was pretty much hockey. That's kind of how I grew up loving the game. Playing professional hockey is always a dream. When I'm young, I'm looking up to the Canucks Blazers. That's who I wanted to be one day, is playing in the WHL. And I've just had lots of influential coaches that pushed me along the way. Mike Newman, he's one of my best friend's dads, Reggie Newman. He plays for the Victoria Royals. His dad always coached us growing up, spring hockey or minor hockey. He was the guy, and he made lots of us better. He was really hard on us, which was great for us. Always learn to be disciplined and things like that, and make sure we do everything right. At a young age, that's what you need, and kind of ask for anything better.
In the high slot, skates in. He'll snap a shot. He scores! Sawyer Minio, his first Western Hockey League goal.
Going in my first camp, I wasn't really expecting to even make the team. I kind of came with a little suitcase of clothes. I had to get my dad to drive back to Kamloops and pick up all my stuff. It was a little bit weird kind of making the team at such a young age. I kind of just learned lots from all the 3 coaches I had when I was 16, and kind of developed into a key player when I was 17, being a defensive kind of guy. This year I took advantage of my opportunity I got, playing a lot more offensive. I lived with Reed Schaefer. Obviously he plays pro now. When he was 18, I was 16. It was his draft year, so I kind of took things from what he did in his draft year, developed into mine. He's really successful right now. He went in the first round, so I think that kind of helped me. To be selected by the Vancouver Canucks, it's a great honor. Growing up, watching them, it's something you dream of, especially the hometown province kid. You couldn't really ask for anything better.
Out of everybody in the family, they might have all been excited for you, but Grandma was most excited?
Yeah, she definitely was. I think she's 80-something years old. She's been a Canucks fan her whole life, so I think she was the happiest person ever that day. Next year I'll play in the WHL for Seattle again. I still got 1 or 2 more years there before I can go pro. After that, I'm hoping when I'm 20, play for the Abbotsford Canucks. I got a little sniff of what pro hockey's like. I played 1 game there, and it's everything you dream of, so I'm really excited for that.
Well, scoreless after 1 period of play between the Canucks and the Winnipeg Jets. I'm Jamie Thomas, alongside the Director of Amateur Scouting for the Winnipeg Jets, Mark Hillier. You and I have been talking about the time change. Obviously, you're on the East Coast, and how those 4:20 wake-up calls these days?
Yeah, it's starting to get better, but 4.5 hour time difference, so usually it's about 5 o'clock. I'm up for a couple hours anyway.
Yeah, you're here to check out the latest and greatest amateur or rookies on this team. And let's start with Kevin He. Of course, you drafted him in the 4th round for the Niagara Ice Dogs. How's he look so far in your eyes?
I thought he's been really good. The first game, playing with Lambert helps, but lots of energy, really good skating and speed. He's had a pretty good first period there. He was all over the puck, so I've been happy with him so far. It's a big jump for a first-year player.
Yeah, I was talking with him the other day, and he said about his style of play, is a dog on the bone. Is that pretty much what you've seen since you drafted him, of course, before that?
Yeah, real good speed and energy, really good shot. He's on the puck all the time. He's a play driver. He's a goal scorer in the junior level. So we think, we traded up to get him, as you know, there, and we're really looking forward to what he can do here.
What about the kid himself? What a nice kid.
Yeah, he's one of those kids that says good morning to you every day. He's got a big smile on his face. He's happy to see you every day, and he's a nice kid.
Markus Lopinen, of course, from Finland. Pretty much you see what you get. Very hard worker.
Yeah, big transition for him. It was nice that he can come over to this tournament and then stay in the WHL, but he'll adjust to the speed, the smaller rink, and hopefully he'll have a good year for us in Victoria.
Mark, how important was it for him in your mind that he made the decision to come play in the Western Hockey League?
It's big because whenever they come over, there's still an adjustment period. So if he came over in 2 or 3 years from now, he's still got to adjust to North American hockey. So he can get that done here in Victoria and be that much further ahead when he turns pro.
And Finns are really good about playing that North American style, right? Traditionally.
Yeah, traditionally too, they play on a hybrid style ice surface, not as big as in Sweden or in other places. So, a little closer to the North American game.
Speaking of North American, of course, your last draft pick of the 2024 draft was Kieran Walton, a big kid, a really nice kid, but 6'6". Talk about the size and the finesse that he also has on top of that size.
Yeah, I thought he played a really good first game. There's some nervous energy there. That's a big jump for a kid like that. Good skater for a big kid, and as he keeps getting stronger and stronger, more coordination and strength, he should smooth out. I thought he's looked very well here, better than I would have thought for a later round pick in his first year.
What was something that attracted you to his style of play when you guys were watching him and scouting him?
Well, obviously the size.
Yeah.
You can't teach 6'5" or 6'6" or whatever he is. He skates well for a big kid. We just thought he was just just starting to come in junior last year. I think he'll be a kid maybe similar to Julian.
Yeah.
The jump Julian had last year, I expect him to pop this year in junior.
Yeah, Jacob Julian, I want to talk to you about him a little bit. Obviously a big step for him coming from the level of hockey that he did to the London Knights, but talk about the long playoff runs that he's had with the London Knights and how beneficial that's been for him.
Yeah, played a lot of games last year. And really it was only his first full-time year in the OHL. The year before he spent half the year in Junior B. So he spent all that time this year with Dale Hunter, a great teacher for him. Who better to show him how to play center ice? He had a long run, played in every situation, killed penalties, power play, important defensive situations at the end of the game. So he just had a great learning season and put up points too, which was great.
Another late round pick that we're talking about, Dominic DiVincentis, who was a 7th round pick for you guys when you guys were in Montreal. Slower start last year after becoming the Ontario Hockey League goaltender of the year, really turned it around. What do you think that was about?
Yeah, who knows? He didn't get off to a good start, but he really put together a good second half, really rebounded, which I give him a lot of credit for. Looks like he's in the right frame of mind this year, and, he's ready to press for a job and start his pro career.
How impressive is that for a young player, a young goaltender, to have the tougher start, but then be able to get it together and turn it around?
I think it's good for him. Face some adversity. It's not an easy position. It was probably a little humbling for him in the first half of the year. But he really battled back, played on a good team there in North Bay, and I think his stats in the second half of the season were right up there at the top of the league. So I expect him to have a season like Milic had last year and be an important prospect for us here.
Absolutely, and we were just talking about how your scouting schedule starts up again. Where are you off to next?
Yeah, day off after the tournament's over here, but I'll fly to Pittsburgh and we'll start the USHL showcase. So it's a good opening tournament in that league to see what players are in the league and where we go from there.
Is it too early to say what this draft is going to be like? Am I asking too much? Too early?
Way too early.
Okay.
We'll see how that plays out.
Mark, appreciate your time as always. Have a good rest of the time here.
Great. Thanks.
Mark Hillier of the Winnipeg Jets. Let's take a home visit with Connor Garland of the Vancouver Canucks.
This is Situate Harbor. If you ever seen the movie Jaws, this is like kind of what it looks like the harbor's running. People come in, so you always want to take them here. The people that are closest to me, I love having them over, especially my parents. So when they're over, I always enjoy it. Come on. First out the door. When my dog comes out here, he's tiny and he naps. If I'm shooting or playing tennis and he's sleeping, he'll lay like right here and the hawks start to circle. It's amazing. So I'd say probably every game I've played in the league, I've kept the warm-up puck. Put them in my pants on the way off the ice. The last time I was out here, I probably watched a 2-on-1 that I shot, and then I just try to pick a spot that I want to hit, and I'll spend a while out here just trying to hit the same spot over and over again. So next time you're on a 2-on-1, it's muscle memory. There's like 10 other signs in here too. So it's just, I'm such a nerd, but it is what it is. I raced, my mom was a swimmer. She was an athlete. She was a great swimmer growing up. And she still has good form, but she's getting up there. She can't keep up anymore. This is like a wall I have of teammates I was close with. There's Huggy, the GOAT. Izzy made it this year. I was happy to get this one. It's a great one. It's after his goal on an island. So had to do a nice little vertical to get eye level with them, but that's a great picture. These are my favorite lines that I've played on in the NHL, and I keep those. Great line, a lot of fun to play with. Those two are some of the easiest people you ever play with. These are my first skates. Pretty nice. CCM tack, old school. I don't even know if I should pick this up. It's my first stick. I can't wait to see all the comments saying he could still use that stick. I will laugh at each one of those. But this is my first stick. It's hanging on by a thread. Definitely splintered at the end. Straight blade. So a lot of it was dad influence. Wanted me to work on the backhand at a young age. This is probably my prized possession. This is a megalodon tooth. I just, for some reason, likes Jaws right from the start. So, even moving here, it was already ingrained. In the movie, there's a scene where they pan out to the boat through a row of teeth, and it's actually kind of a window like this, so it's me copying the movie. Nice little shelf dedicated to it. So Sundays I like to just skate by myself. We play Monday as a group, we play Wednesday as a group, and we play Friday as a group. Sunday I just kind of like to work on my own stuff. We had a great season this year. Obviously didn't reach our end goal, but I would say, that's probably one of my most fun seasons, and in a group that we became close with. But the one thing in common with any team that you're close with is usually it's a winning team. I think we had to work our way out of like a loser mentality. We didn't go into the rink a lot of times my first 2 years there believing we were going to win, and you definitely felt more this year. We knew we were winning, and we had such talent that your talent has to take over, and we did, and now we just have to build on that belief, not cockiness, but the confidence of going into a rink and being able to throw your best at a team and come out on top.
Still trying to figure out which way the tide's going.
It's going left.
Left, yeah, but
you want to cast it, let it go downstream.
We've been out here at least 3-4 times a week, rain or shine.
Yeah, rain or shine, mostly rain.
Mostly rain.
When we play in the pro leagues at night, we come here after. It's nice here, it's so quiet.
Yeah, not really fishing if we don't catch anything, but mostly hanging out. Hopefully we get one before we leave.
If we don't catch one this summer, I'm actually retiring.
100%.
That for me is my favorite time of the summer. That's why I liked my wedding so much, because it was everybody you love in one area. And you don't get that ever. It's me and my dad. And we invented that game, I think, earlier in the summer when my sister was home, who's as competitive as us. And we played for hours. And then I think he came over last week and beat me, so I just said, you know, so I'm going to play again.
Welcome back to Penticton. No score between the Canucks and the Jets after one period, but let's take a look back at the first period highlights, and a good opportunity right in front of the net for Ty Mueller. Just couldn't jam it past Dom DiVincentis at the top of the crease. Shooting opportunity off the wing for Ty Glover off the rush. DiVincentis stood strong, stopped all 7 Vancouver shots of the first period. Really good move here by Chibrikov to create a chance.
Yeah, and I think that's something Winnipeg will want to do a little bit more of, is try to get into the middle of the ice, lots from the perimeter in the first.
Max Sasson attempting to get things going, couldn't hit the target on that rush up the ice. Another look for Mueller at the side of the net, as the Canucks at times had trouble staying in the offensive zone and building some of that pressure. We saw some physicality in the period as well. Vilmer Ulrichsen stepping up, laying a big hit. But the Jets did a good job of getting sticks in lanes like Dmitry Kuzmin did on that last chance, and that's where we sit after one.
So even with a scoreless period, still a lot of opportunities, but like you mentioned, just good sticks in lanes, preventing some of the better quality chances from getting to the net.
Second period, seconds away as the teams switch ends. So for the benefit of those listening on Sportsnet 650, Canucks in white will go from right to left. The Jets in blue will skate from left to right. And the Canucks would probably like to dictate the tempo a little bit more here in the second period, establish their forecheck. The Jets did a really good job of that in the first and try and push back a little bit.
And it was the second period where Winnipeg kind of let Calgary dictate things a couple of days ago. So probably a point of emphasis for them, but you're right, for Vancouver, they've been able to generate some opportunities once they've been in the offensive zone. They'd like to extend that a little bit more to kind of tire out those Winnipeg defenders a little.
Second period underway. Jets win the draw. It's cleared all the way down the ice by Kuzmin, but icing's waved off, and Chibrikov's got it on the right wing. Dumps it behind the Vancouver net. Kudryavtsev settles the puck. Near corner for Elias Pettersson, who was upended in a battle with Chibrikov, but here come the Canucks to center nonetheless. Ratu across the Winnipeg line, left wing. Lenkermacki with a hard one-timer, top of the circle. He whistled that over the crossbar. Certainly had some velocity to it, and now he's after it again on the left wing. But Colby Barlow comes away with it and drops to Braden Yeager. Yeager to center for Chibrikov. Couldn't settle the pass with a bit of traffic to deal with, and Yeager follows up and dumps it in.
What an opportunity for Lenkermacki. He opened up for that one-timer very quickly, a quick developing play.
Now here's Romani, left wing into the Winnipeg zone. Quick shot right on target, stopped by DiVincentis. King collects the rebound and clears it back out of the zone. Kudryavtsev ahead for Romani, lost his footing, got it ahead to Max Sasson, driving wide on the right wing, stops at the hash marks. Back to Felton, long-range wrister along the ice, handled easily by DiVincentis. Sasson again, forechecking right wing. Puck comes loose behind the goal for Patterson. To the left point for Sawyer Minio. Wanted a shot pass into the slot, but Ben King tipped it away. Jets can't clear. Felton on the right wing, driving wide on He to the corner. Cycles below the inboards, or below the goal line for Sasson, driving out front to the side of the net into the crease. Couldn't jam it home past DiVincentis. And the Jets get it out to center and gain the Vancouver blue line. Here's Lambert with a nice move in the slot, try to drop pass intended for Zalotti, who couldn't contend with that well, and the Canucks clear it out to the Winnipeg line. Kevin He back in on the right wing. Minio after it near corner, steps out of the way of a hit attempt. Brad Lambert gets it, throws it through the goal mouth, and Misselbacher's after it on the left wing. Pushed to the boards in a battle with Danila Klimovich. Now Sasson gets it loose, but knocked it down with a high stick as he tried to exit the zone, and the faceoff will come back in the Vancouver end. 2 minutes and 1 second into the second period. No score between the Canucks and the Jets at the Young Stars Classic.
DiVincentis will be happy to have made a stop on his teammate and Anthony Romani. He'll be able to have that, at least when they talk after the game, because you know it's definitely going to happen. Vancouver getting themselves to the front of the net early in this period, as you saw in that opportunity. DiVincentis holding strong against that post.
Must have been a frustrating end to the season for DiVincentis last year. After playing 42 games in the regular season, only appeared in 2 playoff games after suffering a lower body injury and was not able to return for North Bay on their playoff run. Wraparound chance at the side of the goal for Anhorn in the Vancouver zone, and there's Ty Young across to his left to hold it out as a crowd forms in the near corner after the whistle.
Yeah, nice work by Anhorn to get wrapped around that net and get it out in front. Young does a good job of going post to post to keep this one out, and sometimes you'll see on those wraparounds that they're able to go almost off the pad and then inside the post, and you can see Young just able to get across and get that thing covered. And saw a little bit of physicality in that opening period, some pushing and shoving in the corner here. I would say after seeing the Jets play the Flames, a little more physicality in this one.
Canucks win the draw. It's cleared all the way down the ice by Joe Arntzen, a slow roller that goes for icing. There was a little bit of that in the Vancouver-Edmonton game, but I think it's fair to say we've seen more of it this afternoon as well from a Canucks perspective too. There was a good 3-4 minutes in that first period, especially near the end of it, where it seemed like every single check was being finished. And I don't know if it's necessarily a point of emphasis, but it's how you need to play the game, right? It's how you need to stand out, and for some players, it's how they're able to do that. Vilmer Ulrichsen near boards in his own zone for the Canucks, can't clear. It's held in by Kieran Walton. He'll dump it left corner. Kuzman down the boards, pinching in on the forecheck, lost the puck. Canucks will come to center. Ulrichsen left wing to the Jets blue line, driving wide on the boards, try to centering pass, deflected off his stick and right into the glove of DiVincentis. Kuzman once again getting up in the play, had the overtime goal against the Calgary Flames. He's played in this tournament before. He's a 2021 draft pick, and you can just see the confidence and, not being necessarily overwhelmed by the situation, right? Like, this is your first tournament of the year, and he was one of Winnipeg's probably best defensemen in the first game against Calgary. He's kind of continued his strong play coming into this one. Split last season between AHL Manitoba and ECHL Norfolk. So I'm sure he'd like to be a full-time AHLer this coming season. Mm-hmm. Jets get it out to center. Kudryavtsev from his own line, try to pass ahead. It deflects right to Ratu. Right circle with a shot and another stick in the lane to deflect it out of play. This time it's Dawson Barteau. Ratu doing a good job to stay on side on that play. He was coming back to tag up, and then the play came back the other way. He was just able to get his skates across the line, get himself on side, and accept the play, getting the puck on his stick just inside the zone, and he lets this one go, but Barteau able to get that stick on it, send it up into the netting. Ratu, one of the more experienced players at the NHL level here at the Young Stars Classic. 15 career games to his name with both the Islanders and the Canucks. 2 goals and an assist in those appearances. Lekermacki breaks up a pass at the Winnipeg line. Here's Arshdeep Bains, who just laid a hit in the corner after it on the left wing. It was below the goal line for Ratu. Ratu can't settle the puck, back to Bains. Pushed into the wall by Chibrikov, and now it's a 3-on-2 for the Jets to center. Yeager middle of the ice. Right wing for Chibrikov. Left circle, Barlow threw it back in front. Great diving defensive play by Kudryavtsev to block the pass, and it never tested Ty Young. Jets still have it in the zone. Barlow tries a shot left circle, blocked by Kudryavtsev again, and Elias Pettersson has it. Nice pass right wing for Lekermacki into the Winnipeg zone. Winding into the slot, trying to pass to Ratu. He couldn't settle it. And the Jets turn off ice. Chance for another odd man rush. It's Lambert. Right circle. Wait, shoots, scores! Brad Lambert with the patience and the quick release beats Ty Young, blocker side, and the Jets take a 1-0 lead. Couple of rush opportunities for the Winnipeg Jets in the last couple of sequences when the 3-on-2 doesn't click because of the real nice diving play by Kudryavtsev. A turnover high in the Winnipeg Jets zone by the Canucks. Sends Winnipeg back the other way, and Lambert's been dangerous throughout every period he's played, and this one notices he's got some space and wants to be able to sell that pass as a threat, so he's able to cut into the middle of the ice, and he just uses that little bit of a space, little curl and drag into the top corner. The 20-year-old former first-round pick of the Jets back in 2022 scores his first goal of the weekend after picking up an assist in the win over Calgary on Friday, and the Jets, who carried the play throughout most of the first period, opened the scoring early in the second. And they're back to work in the Vancouver zone. Ty Glover's got the puck behind his own goal. Near board, Sawyer Minio tips it out to center. Josh Bloom couldn't handle it, and it's dumped back in by Hunter Mayo. Christian Felton near corner. Leaves for Minio, again for Felton behind his own goal. Cycles around to the near boards for Josh Bloom, and he'll flip it middle of the ice to the line, but not out. Initially held in by Julian, but then he's forced out to center by Walker. Jets trying to regroup. Kuzmin with a rink-wide pass. It was out of the reach of Lopinen, but the Jets get it in deep nonetheless, and Felton's after it far corner. Christian Felton banks it off the wall to center. Saston missed it. Kuzmin knocks it down. They'll battle for the puck back into the Vancouver zone, and Kuzmin dumps it behind the Canuck net. Misselbacher forechecking near side to Lopinen. Centering pass for Julian. Drops it left point. Kuzmin turns and fires. This was blocked by Riley Patterson, but he has his pocket picked by Lopinen. Holds in the zone. He's got it left circle with a high and hard shot over the net and back out to center. Dawson Barteau retreats behind his own goal, chased down by Anthony Romani. Banks it right wing to center. Misselbacher helps it in deep to negate the icing call. Joe Arnson. Near corner for Elias Pettersson. Canucks trying to break out. Pettersson turned it over through the middle, but then a big hit as Sasson follows up and finishes his check on Walton to prevent an opportunity back the other way. Now the Canucks into the Winnipeg zone. Romani left wing, long shot along the ice, kicked out by DiVincentis. Into the left wing corner, and there's a battle for the puck down low. Sasson gets it free to the point for Pettersson. Tried a shot that deflects off a stick and out of play. 5:55 into the second period. It's the Jets 1 and the Canucks nothing. Brad Lambert with the lone goal of the game here at the Young Stars Classic.
And we talked about physicality. Shiverkov's been on the receiving end of a couple of big hits, and now this one for Kieran Walton, who I think he was kind of surprised that the puck came into the middle of the ice and he forced the turnover and then was kind of trying to look and see where his next play was. By that time, Sasson had closed the gap, and a hard collision. Both players all right.
And the face-off in the Winnipeg zone. Controlled by the Jets. Mayo gives it away to Ulrichsen behind the net. Back to the left point for Kudryavtsev, who shoots through traffic. Mueller screening in front, but DiVincentis was still able to see it and make the save with his glove hand.
Mueller does a good job here in terms of timing his arrival at the net. You don't want to necessarily always just kind of stand there. You want to be a passing option off to the side of the net, maybe for a sharp angle play, but once he sees that the shot is coming, Mueller steps right in front of DiVincentis just as that puck is arriving, goes for the deflection. Just DiVincentis able to snare it out of the air.
Kevin He credited with the lone assist on the goal by Brad Lambert, and here's Lambert again, right wing into the Vancouver zone with speed. Stops up on the half boards, back to Mayo at the point. Now Lambert gets it again, left circle from Anhorn. With room, high slot, tried to cut into the middle of the ice. Kudryavtsev knocks it off his stick, gets some help from Ulrichsen, and the Canucks clear it all the way down, but this will be icing against Vancouver, and the Jets, emboldened by the opening goal, continue to pressure in the Vancouver end.
Yeah, Lambert, one of those players that it just seems when something's going for him, whether it's makes a play offensively, he just seems to build on it, and he gets the puck in the offensive zone here and has some space to work with, but Vancouver defensively does a nice job with their sticks to take away a little bit of that space. Lambert tries a fake shot and then tries to pull it out to the side, and that gets broken up, and then Vancouver's able to pressure, and they get the puck out.
Yeager wins the faceoff for Winnipeg. Solomonson right point. Leaves for Barlow, who dumps it into the right corner. Kudryavtsev back to it. Got it to the point. Solomonson hold in. Now it's chipped up the left wing. Here's Klimovich first to it on the forecheck. No icing. Danila Klimovich left corner. Pinned to the boards by Kuzman. Ty Mueller recovers it right corner. Back to the line for Christian Felton. Shot through traffic wide of the goal. It bounces off the end wall around to the near side, and Yeager picks it up for Winnipeg. Floated into the Vancouver end. Felton chased down by Barlow. Dumps it behind his own goal for Sawyer Minio, who passes it up the left wing, but Baines and Klimovich couldn't decide who was going to receive that, and it's icing against Vancouver. And the Jets' forecheck has actually pressured the Canucks into icing the puck quite a number of times here throughout the first nearly 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, kind of that cumulative effect, you know, where you, as a defenseman, you know you haven't had much time to play the puck, and you know you're under siege. Start making plays a little bit quick. That stretch play was definitely there. The puck just ends up going right in between two Canucks. That, like you said, just a little miscommunication there.
Another face-off win for the Jets in the offensive zone. Lewiski after it right corner, pinned to the boards by Minio. Ratu's got it behind his own net. Now the Canucks will skate to center. Felton up in the rush, left wing, across the Winnipeg line, dumps it to the end boards. Arshdeep Baines left corner. Was pushed off the puck. Ratu in to help out, but it's cleared to center, and Minio has to pass ahead for Baines. Dumps it up the left wing. Ratu onto it. driving wide of the boards around Zalotti. Now plays it back to the line. One-timer from the right wing point by Joe Arntzen. Can't find the target, and the Canucks forced to retreat into their own zone. Arntzen back to it. Stretch pass to center. Tipped in deep by Cooper Walker as DiVincentis leaves his net. There's it high around the glass for Kevin He, far boards. Can't get it out past Arntzen. But following up and getting it to center is Dylan Anhorn. Now here's Lambert, right wing to the Vancouver line. Long shot low to the ice. Stop by Young. Rebound in front. Made a second save on an opportunity right at the top of the crease for Ben King. And it's Ty Glover back the other way for the Canucks with speed. Right wing. Carries behind the Winnipeg net. Try to center and pass. Deflects off a stick high in the air. Then Glover lays a hit on King near side. They're going to call it a penalty, as King was trying to settle the puck. Not sure if he touched it yet when Glover hit him. Kudryavtsev touches the puck. And we'll get the signal from the official here. Interference is the decision. And the Jets get their second power play of the afternoon. 8:28 into the second period, leading the Canucks 1-0.
It certainly felt like interference was about the only call that could have been. Just a slightly mistimed hit is really all it is, because King was definitely in the vicinity and Glover was just going to go finish a check. Yeah, Glover just kind of thinks that King's going to play the puck about a split second before that and delivers the hit like you want to be doing in that situation, but it's called interference.
Jets 0 for 1 on the power play this afternoon, go to their second man advantage and win the faceoff of the Vancouver zone. Kuzman, right wing for Yeager, into the slot, low shot off the stick of Carson Golder, held out by Ty Young. Here's Kuzman at the line. Stick handling, mishandled the puck, comes to Barlow left wing, pushed to the boards by Mueller. Back for Kuzman, right circle, Yeager tried a wrist shot, but Elias Pettersson tips it into the mesh.
Yeah, well defended by Pettersson there. Kuzman handling the puck at the top of the line, just one too many moves as he's trying to scan the ice and walk the line at the same time, and Barlow does a nice job of not panicking in the situation, because if Winnipeg doesn't handle that puck cleanly, it's a shorthanded opportunity coming back the other way. Barlow is able to slide a little backhand pass. Jets are able to reset and create that opportunity.
Yeager and Ratu on the draw. To the left of Ty Young, and Yeager wins it back to the line for Dmitry Kuzman. Shot through traffic, was deflected, bounces wide of the goal. Christian Felton back to it. Tripped up behind the net. Jets get it in front. Centering pass by Golder was just out of the reach of Ben King. Canucks can't clear the zone, though. Joe Arntzen lays a hit on Barlow near side, rather. And finally, the Canucks do get it all the way down the ice and get a wholesale change on their penalty kill.
Looked like the Canucks were thinking there might have been a shorthanded chance there, because usually when you have a chance on the penalty kill to clear, you send it down the ice, but they were trying for a little area play there that Kuzman was just able to keep in.
Elias Pettersson back to the puck, far corner in his own zone, gave it away to Julian behind the net. Jacob Julian for Colby Barlow, back to the top of the point for Salomonson. Now to Yeager, left circle, again to Salomonson, top of the point, back to Braden Yeager. One-time shot blocked bravely by Pettersson. That one stung, and Yeager gets it back. Salomonson again to Yeager, another one-timer. This one got through on Young, who made the save. Pettersson still in obvious discomfort, having to defend here with the Jets still controlling on the power play in the Vancouver zone. Yeager again, left circle, centering pass towards the goal, tipped wide of the net by Julian. And now it's wired off the glass and all the way back down the ice by Max Sasson. And the Canuck penalty killers get a complete change yet again with 20 seconds left in the Winnipeg power play.
It's one heck of a block by Pettersson. They never feel good, especially, I don't know if that one really caught him in a shin pad or anything, but tough block.
Chibrikov. Left corner for Kevin He into the Vancouver zone. Back to Brad Lambert. Top of the left circle. Dying seconds of the power play to Chibrikov. Right circle. He scores! Brad Lambert impacting the game again with a nice setup for Nikita Chibrikov, who scores his second here at the Young Stars Classic and gives the Jets a 2-0 lead.
A seeing eye pass by Lambert is what sets this up. It was Chibrikov that had the great opportunity for the Jets early in the first period, cutting to the middle of the ice. This one, it just kind of works its way over to that left wing boards. Jets do a good job to win the battle to get it back to Lambert, and Lambert just from the top of the left circle slides a backhand pass across the ice through a seam, and Chibrikov just tees off on it, sends it into the top corner just past the glove of Young. Second of the tournament for Chibrikov.
And it comes on the power play with just 3 seconds left in the penalty. Make that 2 seconds left in the penalty to Ty Glover. Nikita Chibrikov giving the Winnipeg Jets A 2-0 lead with their second goal of the period. Canucks ice the puck off the ensuing faceoff. Klimovich didn't like that decision, as he had actually got to the puck as the whistle sounded, and miscommunication from the Lions people here will bring the face-off back at center ice.
Yeah, the Lions person tapping himself on the jersey, saying that was on me.
Cooper Walker wins the face-off at center for Vancouver. Canucks find themselves in a 2-0 deficit now after the power play goal by Nikita Chibrikov. Of course, as you alluded to earlier, scored his lone NHL goal in his lone NHL game against the Canucks, game 82 last year of the regular season, which of course was Brad Lambert's NHL debut as well, and he had an assist in that game. So very early in their NHL careers, but maybe not too early to say they like playing the Canucks. Now here's Walton in the slot, tried to toe drag, lost the puck. Kudryavtsev can't get it out of the zone. Misselbacher holds in. Right wing for Anhorn, makes a move into the slot with a shot that he fired over the net. And the puck is out to center. Hunter Mayo chased back into his own zone by Danila Klimovich. Goes to Lopinen up the near side. Bank pass to the Vancouver line, broken up by Kudryavtsev. Drops it back to Joe Arnson. Back to Kudryavtsev near side. Has to settle a rolling puck, but does get it out for Lekermäki, who gets around Mayo on the left wing. Here's Lekermäki. Had a lane to the net, but settles it and drops it back to Arnson with room. High slot, shoots right on. It's stopped and held by Dom DiVincentis. 8:13 left in the second period of the Young Stars Classic in Penticton. It's the Jets 2 and the Canucks 0.
Get ready. The highly anticipated Hitman home opener is Sunday, September 29th. Be there as the Calgary Hitmen mark the start of their 30th season. Cheer them on against the Lethbridge Hurricanes and take part in home opener celebrations like player introductions to kick off another year of Hitman hockey. Plus, it's Sunday Fun Day presented by Brookfield Residential with reduced ticket prices, fun concourse activities, and food and beverage deals. Your team, our community. Score your tickets today at hitmanhockey.com/tickets.
Hey everyone, it's Leon Draisaitl here. Told you guys last year that Oktoberfest was going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be even better this year. Go get your tickets at ticketmaster.com. Prost.
Flames fans, the future is here. With the announcement of our new arena, Scotia Place, there's no better time to become a Calgary Flames season ticket member. Enjoy savings of up to 40% off single game ticket prices and get exclusive access to events and opportunities to meet the team. Plus, you'll be first in line for Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Be a part of the action live and experience every moment from your very own seat. Head to calgaryflames.com/tickets today to secure your spot.
Brendan Batchelor and Mitchell Clinton back with you here from the Young Stars Classic in Penticton. The Winnipeg Jets with a 2-0 lead over the Vancouver Canucks midway through the second period after goals from Brad Lambert and Nikita Chibrikov.
And the referees doing their mid-game swap of jerseys too, so that's the first time I've ever seen it. They did it on, the game against the Calgary Flames, but you're used to seeing goaltenders do it, but this is the second time I've seen it, and I still think it's incredible.
A switch from referee to linesman,
yeah.
Linesman to referee. I guess it's preseason for them too,
yes.
So got to rotate in and get your work in both roles. Jacob Julian at his own line for the Jets lost it to Lekermäki. Down the left wing, was knocked down by Julian as he tried to get around him on the boards. Linesman was kind of in the way there too. And there were shouts from the Vancouver bench as a result. Arshdeep Bains left wing. Centering pass for Ratu. Ratu pushed wide by Dmitry Kuzmin. Ratu cycles down the wall for Lekermäki. Pinned to the wall by Julian. Bains and Kuzmin join the fight for the puck as well. Kuzmin knocks down Bains, and Salamonson gets it behind his own goal for Lopinen far corner. Forced deep by Joe Arnson as the Canucks try to pin the Jets in their own end. Ratu, left corner with the puck. Back to the line for Christian Felton. Again to Ratu. Near boards, tried a long shot. Blocked by Julian and cleared out of the zone, but Felton climbs the ladder to glove it down and dump it back in. Took an odd bounce off a stanchion in the left corner, right towards the net, but DiVincentis was ready to kick it out. Misselbacher for Winnipeg. Stretch pass, this will go all the way down. Icing's waved off, though, as they ruled that Barlow was close enough anyway that the icing wouldn't be called. And Minio did well to fend him off. Now here's Elias Pettersson in his own zone. Left wing pass to center. Tipped off a stick. And Zalotti's back to it behind his own goal. Floats it up the near side. Yeager chips it deep, but this will be icing against Winnipeg, and the Canucks will have an offensive zone face-off with 6:32 left in the second. Jets lead the Canucks 2-0.
Probably Vancouver's best shift of this second period, and it was physical. It was tough for the Jets defense pairing of Kuzman and Salamonson. They're not two small players, but they were going up and they were getting hit. They were pressed into the boards below the goal line. It was a solid grind to even get that puck off the wall, and when Vancouver did, they're able to get some zone time and get that puck toward the net to DiVincentis.
Chibrikov lifts it into the Vancouver zone. Kudryavtsev back to it, chased down by Barlow on the forecheck. Gets it to Chibrikov on the inboards, but he gave it away to Arshdeep Bains. And Bains out to center, drops to Alkos. Now for Lekermacki, left corner. Back to the line for Kudryavtsev. Tried a sweeping pass towards Lekermacki that was deflected away by Chibrikov, and Jets will break out as a result. Zalotti at his own line. Banks it to the Canuck blue line, and Chibrikov follows up and dumps it in. Kevin He forechecking in the right corner, pushes Kudryavtsev to the boards. The Canuck defenseman plays it free for Vilmer Ulrichsen, and now left wing into the Winnipeg zone for Ty Mueller. Mueller battling for the puck. Instead, it's King that gets it back out to center. Klimovich intercepts for the Canucks and drops near side for Vilmer Ulrichsen. Ulrichsen makes a nice move to gain the line. Is stood up by Hunter Mayo. And it comes back behind the net for Dylan Anhorn. Anhorn threw it up the far side. Mueller holds in. Comes back to Arnson. Nice pass. Left point for Pettersson. Now to the right circle. Ulrichsen centering feed. Klimovich couldn't tip it on target. And Pettersson rims it back behind the Winnipeg net. Ulrichsen on the right wing boards. Nice reverse hit there on Anhorn to hold the puck. Now Pettersson, left circle. Pushed to the boards by Lambert. Puck comes around to Arnson right side. But it's knocked past him out to center. Here's another chance for Brad Lambert. Left wing into the Vancouver zone. Shot right on. But Ty Young is there to make the save with the glove and hold on.
Chance comes at the end of another strong shift in the offensive zone for the Vancouver Canucks, and by the time the puck is cleared into the middle of the ice, Lambert, as we know, has a whole bunch of speed to burn, but it's at the end of a long shift where you're defending, so he's not quite able to get that corner turned, and Vancouver does a nice job of making sure that that shot's coming from the dot and it's not coming from anywhere tighter, so Young able to come out nice and far, close off that angle, and makes a nice glove save.
Canucks have tweaked a couple of their defensive pairings here. They had Pettersson and Kudryavtsev playing together coming into the game, but we saw Pettersson and Arnson on that last shift. Well, Kudryavtsev has been skating with Parker Alkos. Kudryavtsev was playing as a left shot on the right side with Pettersson, and they had a good game against the Oilers the other night, but the Canucks up ice score. Max Sasset around the net, throws it out front and banks it off Josh Bloom and in, and the Canucks make it a one-goal game.
What a bounce for Vancouver, who momentum-wise has kind of started to turn things a little bit in the last couple of minutes, and they finally get a bounce to go their way in the offensive zone. And so they always say just go to the net. That's exactly what Bloom does, gets to that back post, and Sass is just able to play it out in front, and Bloom's just able to get a little bit of inside positioning on Salamonson getting to that post. He's not really able to have his stick down on the ice, but ends up going off of, I believe, a shin pad and into the back of the net, so 2-1.
Right place, right time for Josh Bloom. His first of the Young Stars Classic, of course, scored the winning goal in the Memorial Cup final last year for the Saginaw Spirit. And finds the back of the net here to pull the Canucks back within one late in the second period. Kudryavtsev, left wing to center. Dumps it into the Jets' end of the ice. Alkos holds in right point as it rimmed all the way around behind the net for Baines, centering pass. Lekkerimäki couldn't get to it. Elias Pettersson off the bench. He'll dump it back in. Baines again behind the goal. Cycles to Lekkerimäki. He'll drop it to Pettersson near side. Pressure by Golder on the wall, but Pettersson keeps the puck. Floats it into space far side for Ulriksson off the bench. Down the right wing. Into the corner. Vilmer Ulriksson spinning on the boards. Being hounded by Golder. Gets it to Arnson left point. Joe Arnson behind the net. Ty Mueller after the puck. Upended in a battle with Zalotti, but the Jets still can't clear. Pettersson long shot to the line. He scores! What a response from the Canucks as they scored twice in under 2 minutes. This time it's Elias Pettersson, and a 2-0 deficit is now a 2-all tie.
I'm not sure how much of this DiVincentis saw, as I believe it was Lottie getting kind of upended right in front of him as the puck was coming. So he's got one of his defensemen kind of fallen down, and the wrist shot from Pettersson coming at the same time. But again, the Canucks hound the puck in the offensive zone and are able to force the turnover. Winnipeg started this whole sequence in the offensive zone, in Vancouver's zone. They turned the puck over, and Vancouver is able to bring it all the way back and generate this opportunity for Pettersson from the blue line.
2 goals in a minute and 11 seconds for the Canucks. It's Elias Pettersson scoring his first here at the Young Stars Classic. And it's a tied hockey game just like that. Chibrikov in his own zone, lifts it off the glass to center. Christian Felton back to it in his own end. Chased down by Colby Barlow behind the goal. Felton turns it over to Yeager in the slot. Quick shot right on. Ty Young makes a nice save up high. Then Barlow turns and fires from the bottom of the left circle. And Young makes another save across to his right post.
Yeager's starting to be even more of a factor as this game's gone on. It was Pettersson that blocked a one-timer opportunity for Yeager earlier in this period. He forces the turnover here, just picks off a pass by the hash marks and gets it to the net, and then Vancouver not quite able to clear that net front area, and Barlow able to get a second chance opportunity as well.
You expect a push from the Jets here with under 3 minutes left in the second after seeing the 2-0 lead evaporate. Elias Pettersson in his own zone, try to bank pass to center. It's tipped all the way down, icing waved off. Kuzmin back to it. Ratu hot on his heels on the forecheck, can't come up with a puck now. Here's a 3-on-2 to center for Winnipeg. It's Brad Lambert again, drops left wing. Kevin He long shot, and Young just got a piece of that off his left shoulder to turn it into the mesh and out of play.
Now Winnipeg coming with a whole lot of speed through that neutral zone, and Lambert off the rush is, you know, that's where probably he's one of the most comfortable that he is on the ice, and he and Kevin He work a little bit of an interchange to try to get a little bit of space for He to work with, and he sends a good shot to the net. He was one of the more dynamic offensive players for Niagara in the Ontario Hockey League last season, but Young had the answer for that.
As the puck is sent right to the goal of Ty Young off the ensuing face-off, and a little bit of a skirmish at the goal mouth is covered by Young. And some extracurriculars after the whistle as well.
And Minio ended up on top of Nikita Chibrikov, and when Chibrikov was able to get back to his feet, he threw a little shot Minio's way, and Minio just responded in kind, if you will.
Jets win a scrambled draw, but Minio comes up with it, cleared to the line, not out. Yeager tried a shot, blocked by Mueller, and Danila Klimovich has it in the neutral zone. Right side, Vilmer Ulriksson battling with Zalotti, got it ahead to Chibrikov, and the Jets dump it back into the Vancouver zone with 2 minutes left in this second period, and the game tied at 2. Dawson Barteau, left wing at center, hit by Klimovich, who pushes him, or tried to push him into the Winnipeg bench. As the puck was dumped back into the Vancouver end. Now here's Mueller to center for Klimovich. Across the Winnipeg line, long range shot. Kicked out by DiVincentis. And taken by Dylan Anhorn behind his own goal. for Ben King up the near side, gave it away middle of the ice. Cooper Walker towards the net, fired it high and wide on the stick side, and it goes out of play. Not sure if DiVincentis got a piece of that or not, but very close to the Canucks' first lead of the afternoon.
Yeah, the happiest guy on the ice is Ben King, who just trying to make a play into the middle of the ice here off the spinorama and just mistimes the pass. The Jet player that he was looking for had already vacated the zone and just opened things right up for another Vancouver opportunity.
90 seconds left in this second period. Offensive zone draw for the Canucks. It's Walker against Julian in the Winnipeg zone to our left near circle. Walker won the faceoff. The linesman didn't like the way that was contested, so they will do it again. Good crowd here this afternoon in Penticton. Lots of Canuck jerseys, as you might expect, as Arnson gets a shot from the line that was blocked out to center. But we did hear quite a loud True North during the anthem before the game as well. So
we did, yes. I was wondering, with it being, Sunday, people maybe if they're a Jets fan that doesn't live out here, you probably might be thinking about heading home, but still a fair amount of Jets jerseys out there, which is nice. Heard the same True North on the other day against Calgary, so nice little bit of representation.
We see fans from all four of the Western Canadian teams really enjoy coming to this tournament and this weekend. Plenty of Flames and Oilers jerseys here as well. Of course, the Young Stars Classic will wrap up tomorrow. A pair of matinee games. First, the Jets and the Oilers, and then the Canucks and the Flames to conclude the weekend. Here's Archie Bains bouncing on a loose puck into the Winnipeg zone, dropped to Atu Ratu. He goes back to Bains' left corner, protected the puck on his backhand, carries up the wall to the line, stumbled, but while lying on his back is able to lift it high in the air into the right corner. Lekermacki in pursuit. Attempted a centering feed. Bains in to help out as the Canucks try to take the puck back to the net, but instead it's Dmitry Kuzmin to center for Winnipeg. Kuzmin drops it to Lopinen into the Vancouver zone. Back to Kuzmin, centering pass into the slot. He had Misselbacher going to the net, but it's Lekermacki with it instead, lifting it to center for Ratu, who dumps it in. Brad Lambert behind his own goal, pushed to the end boards by Ty Glover. Glover sticking on that forecheck, knocks down Lambert. Jets get it out to center nonetheless. Yeager pinned to the boards by Arnson. Bloom dumps it back into his own end. Just 5 seconds left in the period, so that should do it. For a middle frame that was certainly more eventful than the first period. It was scoreless through one. It's 2-2 through two after the Jets built a 2-0 lead and the Canucks clawed back to equalize.
Yeah, second time in the tournament Winnipeg's had a 2-0 lead and saw their opposition come back and tie things up. So combination of Vancouver, I think, getting in on their forecheck and spending a little bit more time in the Winnipeg zone, and also a couple of questionable, we'll say, puck management decisions by the Jets a little bit later in the period, giving Vancouver a chance to even take the lead. So a few things to clean up for them, but it should be setting the stage for a really good third.
Canucks and Jets tied at 2 after 2. And coming up in a few moments in our second intermission, Olivia McDonald will be by to chat with Scott Young, the Director of Player Personnel for the Vancouver Canucks. Winnipeg goals from Lambert and Chibrikov, Bloom and Pettersson for the Canucks. 2-2 through 2 in Penticton.
We're going to a little lake called Duck Lake. This guy's name is Mike. He runs a show on Discovery.
Welcome to the Basquatch Hunter, Fish Out of Water.
Fish on!
We share our love for fishing with our guests, and then we show off what they do, making us both a fish out of water.
This sounded like it might be fun and good to do, just get some experience in a different light.
It's freezing in Canada. I do a lot of ice fishing, but I'm due to try out kayak fishing.
Well, today was an amazing day. I got to not only meet one of my heroes, but I got to watch him catch some fish in a kayak for his first time.
It was really cool just seeing everything kind of unfold and being in a kayak and being close and chatting and having the GoPros on. And every fish was almost like 10 because it was such a production. And yeah, you had to make sure you landed, you had to talk about it, and it was a pretty cool experience.
The only thing we have in common with all of our guests is that we've all followed our dreams to do something, and to be able to showcase someone like Connor and all he's accomplished hopefully inspires a lot of people to do the same thing.
We're off to a summer skate at Lakeland Arena. I grew up there. I played high school there. Pretty much played all growing up there. So we're gonna head off to my old stomping grounds. The place is pretty much the same as when I grew up.
There you go. I was gonna say just one short step, right?
Yeah.
He absolutely loves this. He looks forward to this, and these guys give it to each other like there's no tomorrow. They have fun. Did he get that? Oh my God. He absolutely loves this game. It cracks me up.
He likes chirping, he likes having fun. Some days he misses because he's fishing.
I mean, I would say I'm just as motivated as I've been my entire career. I have one goal left in mind, and that's to win a cup. And so, you know, I'm just really excited to get back in the swing of things, see the guys, see how everyone's summer went, and, you know, kind of put pen to paper and see how things are going. Oh man, I thought we were gonna get bit right there. My grandpa would always take us up north and we would just throw a worm in the water and catch perch and rock bass, and then we'd fillet them up. So that's where fishing in general came in. There we go. So I'd always walk down to the docks and just catch fish off the docks, and all the neighbors were really nice and let me do that. There's one. Looks like some pike had been biting at him. Yeah, that's a nice one. Probably a high 3-pounder, nice and fat. I told my brother how fun it was, and he got into it. So then we started competing against each other, and that's when it really took off. That's when it was, we had to do it like every weekend. I had a buddy, he had a buddy, so it was 2-on-2. And then we were just planning on trips and where to go, staying with my grandparents, and then we just fell in love with it. And now he's taken off with it, and he's trying to make it, he's trying to become pro with it. You gotta know how to catch them. You gotta know how to find them. That's what is really important, finding them. I think that's probably the hardest part. Because if they're there and they're ready to bite, they'll usually bite. But finding them can be really difficult sometimes. The saying is 90% of the fish live in 10% of the lake. That seems to feel true a lot of the times.
Welcome back to the Young Stars Tournament. Olivia McDonald, joined by Scott Young, Director of Player Personnel. Now, Scott, we just watched an incredible second period, but talking about these guys going out on the ice and showing off their best selves in this tournament, what advice are you giving to them in order to do that?
Well, we want them, and I believe our coaching staff wants them to play hockey. We don't want them to go out and be cautious, you know, to try to get involved too much in systems. I mean, there are systems being taught, but I know our staff's done a good job with them saying, go out and play hockey. You're here for a reason. You're here because you're a good hockey player. You've been either drafted by us or invited to this camp. Maybe you're a free agent. Maybe you're a draft pick. Maybe you're, you know, just an invite. And we just want them to play their game and, again, believe in themselves and play with confidence.
And kind of just speaking of standing out, we just saw, again, that exciting second period. Who is standing out to you in the first 40 minutes?
Well, I think, you know, Max Sasson's had a good first couple of games here. He got us going there. I thought we had a quiet start to this game, but now it's really picked up. We got that first goal, and there's some energy with the team right now, and then you see we had the second one. Our guys that, you know, guys like Lecker-Mackey, you can see if he can get that shot off more. He missed the net once high, and he can get it off real quick, and it's a bomb. So we want to see him get some more shots off. And, you know, hey, some of these guys, some of the younger guys coming in, it's a bit of an adjustment, and it's a bit of an adjustment for pace. And the one thing that we don't want to do is over-evaluate in something like this because it's early on, and there's a mix of you might have a 24-year-old out there playing with 18-year-olds, so we don't want to over-evaluate in something like this.
Of course, and we talk about how big this tournament is to these guys, but let's talk about how big this tournament is for the city of Penticton and the community.
Well, it's tremendous to be here. I tell you, it's a beautiful area, it's a beautiful community, and they treat us very well. And this year we get to have main camp here, which is great. I think just being, we're 4.5 hours from Vancouver, maybe they don't get to see much of the Canucks live. So it's nice to be able to be in this community and really kind of pump them up for the season.
And I want to know where your excitement level is at right now. We just had in the Young Stars tournament now. We've got camp coming up next weekend here in Penticton as well. Season's coming up. Where are you at excitement-wise?
I'm really excited. I'm really excited about our moves that we made in the off-season. And just looking at our roster, our potential roster going into training camp here and going into the season, I think there's a lot to be excited about for this season, especially after what we did last year and how we intend to build on that.
And then expectations maybe for this team this season as we head into that first game. Big question.
Listen, I mean, listen, it's no longer make the playoffs. It's, first of all, you have to make the playoffs, obviously, to get to the big dance. But it's more than that now. It's not just about making the playoffs. Making the playoffs is not seen as being, reaching the goal that we want to eventually reach. We want to make a run at the Cup. And we feel that we're well positioned to build off of last year.
Absolutely. Now, with the game behind us, one period left to go. I mean, who do you want to see now? We've talked about who stood out to you already. Who do you want to see stand out in just this last 20 minutes?
Well, I like to see a guy like Sawyer Manayo back on the. He was coming off an illness coming into this game. We're really excited about him. Just everybody. We're evaluating, again, not too heavily in this, but we're watching everybody. It gives us a chance to see some of our young players that we didn't know before they were drafted. Guys like Romani and the younger players like Patterson. But having D. Petey back there, he's a big force back there, strong. I think Arlexon's looked good. I mean, there's a lot of guys, and then you got your guys that have experience in the AHL, like Baines and Ratu and these guys. So there's a lot to like. We're just watching, and we want everyone to play well. Yeah,
and we saw Tolo last night. You've got Young in net tonight. That first period, an incredible performance from him, especially making, I believe it was 13 saves just in that first one. Your thoughts on him?
He's looked good, and we needed him to play well in that first period because they were taking it to us, and I think positionally, they had the puck in our zone for a while, and it took us a little while to get going, and he kept us in this game.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get back to the hockey as soon as we can. We got another period coming up. Back to you guys. Enjoy the rest of the Young Stars tournament.
When did you have an idea you were pretty good at hockey and you could do something with it?
I guess just playing in Montreal. Playing growing up in West Island. I've always played a year off.
Yeah.
So I've always competed with older guys, and I guess I got a pretty good idea. But yeah, just playing against older guys growing up.
So was it just one step at a time, Ontario Hockey League and then possibly the NHL, or have you always looked at the NHL as a possibility from as a young kid?
I think I've always taken it step by step, but I'm always in the back of the head. Obviously, want to get to the NHL, and so yeah, I think I'm just taking it day by day, step by step.
Okay, so last year's your draft year, and you have a pretty challenging year on the ice with Niagara Ice Dogs. You guys finished last in the Ontario Hockey League. What did last year's adversity do for the Niagara Ice Dogs?
It got us close as a group. I think we started hanging out a lot more. Just get to know.
When did you have an idea you were pretty good at hockey and you could do something with it?
I guess just playing in Montreal. Playing growing up in West Island. I've always played a year off.
Yeah.
So I've always competed with older guys, and I guess I got a pretty good idea. But yeah, just playing against older guys growing up.
So was it just one step at a time, Ontario Hockey League and then possibly the NHL, or have you always looked at the NHL as a possibility from as a young kid?
I think I've always taken it step by step, but I'm always in the back of the head. Obviously, want to get to the NHL, and so yeah, I think I'm just taking it day by day, step by step.
Okay, so last year's your draft year, and you have a pretty challenging year on the ice with Niagara Ice Dogs. You guys finished last in the Ontario Hockey League. What did last year's adversity do for the Niagara Ice Dogs?
It got us close as a group. I think we started hanging out a lot more, just get to know everyone and just really come together as a family and as a group of brothers, and that helped this team a lot, and especially set the tone right for this year coming in.
So you had a lot of optimism talking about this yesterday. What gives you that optimism that this is going to be a better year in Niagara?
Just the trust we have in each other, trust in the staff, trust in the organization. I think just throughout the whole organization, just knowing that we're always going to be there and have each other's back.
And then the draft experience itself. Sitting in the stands with family, does that make it more nerve-wracking because of family sitting around and you just wanted to share that moment with them?
Yeah, it's pretty anxious. You never know where you're going to go. So,
of course.
But no, obviously when Winnipeg jumped up, I was super happy and pumped. And obviously having my family there with me is a pretty cool moment and pretty surreal.
Tell everybody who was all there. Like, that was a large contingent.
Yeah, so I had my dad and my brother there. My dad has 5 sisters. One of them couldn't make it, so my 4 aunts, my cousins. I had 2 little nephews, obviously one 6 months old and the other one 1.5 years. I just met them for the first time, so yeah. And the whole staff from Niagara came down, and
wow, what a great moment for you. So Kevin, thanks for the hot lap and congratulations, and good luck going forward.
Thank you.
And take us through last season in North Bay.
Yeah, it was obviously super excited to be part of this organization, but my season in North Bay, it was a mixture of up and downs. It's part of hockey, but the great organization, the staff, and my teammates were fantastic, and were able to help me battle through that adversity and come out of it using it as a positive way. And couldn't be more proud of the group for what we did this year. We battled through a few injuries in the playoffs, and we still managed to make it into the conference finals. And my 3 years in the North Bay has been nothing but fantastic, and that's one CHL organization that everyone should be looking out for.
Do you feel like there was more pressure in your draft year or more pressure after being drafted?
I would say more pressure in my draft year, because we had a COVID year where we didn't get to play in the OHL. So, I had 1 year to really prove myself, to show my capabilities, and was fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to play in the playoffs and take over starting role towards the end of my first season there in North Bay, and that's what ultimately got me to being drafted with Winnipeg. But I would say being drafted in my draft year was probably the hardest season with the most pressure, just because it was my first season in OHL as a 17-year-old, so it was pretty difficult. But like I said, North Bay did a fantastic job, managing that year with all of our 17-year-old players, and I couldn't be more happy.
Well, the Jets have started to draft a lot of Ontario Hockey League players. Kevin He, Kieran Walton, Colby Barlow. Can you give us a scouting report on all 3, if you can, in let's say about 15 seconds?
Fantastic players, great humans off and off the ice as well. They're a bunch of hardworking kids. They all know what it takes to be a pro, and I ultimately think that's why Winnipeg drafted each and every one of them. Me and Barlow have been here together for a couple of years now, and when we play each other during the season, it's a friendly battle throughout the game. So I think that's ultimately why I think all 3 of them are part of this organization, just because they're great guys on and off the ice.
Welcome back to Penticton. 2-2 between the Canucks and the Jets after 2 periods, and it was a tale of 2 halves of that second period.
Really was. Winnipeg getting off to a great start with this laser beam from Brad Lambert, who, was threatening in the first game, didn't find a way to get to the back of the net. He does here. Beautiful wrist shot there. And then he sets up on the power play. Nikita Chibrikov rips this thing from the right circle into the top corner. But a tremendous backhand pass by Brad Lambert against the grain. And that gave the Jets a 2-0 lead.
Canucks had something to say about that, though. Max Sasson throwing a puck to the goal, and there's Josh Bloom. Right place, right time, off his shin pad to make it a 1-goal game. And just a minute and 11 seconds later, Vancouver would equalize as Ulrichsen wins the battle in the corner. Back to Pettersson at the line. And Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, wires a wrist shot past Dom DiVincentis to tie this game at 2. And that's where we sit right now as we get set for the third period at the South Okanagan Event Center. Both Young and DiVincentis back in their respective creases. So it looks like they'll both go the full 60 minutes or maybe more. We'll see if the Jets require overtime for a second straight game. And for our listeners on radio on Sportsnet 650, Canucks in white are going from left to right in the third. The Jets in blue are skating from right to left.
Should be an exciting third. The physicality has been picking up as the game's gone on. There's been some great opportunities for both sides and little things to clean up for both teams, no doubt, but certainly setting the stage for what should be a really good third period. Another tight hockey game here in Penticton.
Shots were even at 9 apiece in the second period. Winnipeg's out shooting Vancouver 22-16 thus far in the hockey game, as we have a couple of false starts here on the face-off at center ice to get this third period underway.
Chibrikov asking
Josh Bloom over there.
It's been Josh Bloom and Chibrikov, both of them battling for position on that far side.
Josh Bloom, no relation to Orlando, I should tell you.
I was going to ask. I was waiting for the right time.
All right, let's see if they can get it done this time. Here we go. Third period underway. Canucks win the draw, and Pettersson from his own line try to pass up the left wing. Bloom tipped it in deep to negate the icing call, and Kuzman's back to it behind his own goal. Around to Chibrikov, far side. Dropped it to Salomonson. He gets it out to center. Pettersson bats it back the other way. And now Kuzman, lugging it to the red line, can't get it deep. Salomonson forced back into his own zone. Rink wide pass to Chibrikov. Middle of the ice for Kuzman to the red line. And from the center ice circle, he lifts it into the right corner in the Vancouver zone. Pettersson back to it. Got it to the point, not out. Held in by King, or they'll say he didn't hold it in, so it's a delayed offside. And Elias Pettersson, already with a goal today, has room to skate it and play it to Aatu Ratu. He'll reverse back into his own zone for Christian Felton as the Canucks complete the change. Minio off the bench. Left wing to the red line, dumps it in. Ratu's after it, right corner. Left it back for Felton with a long shot, and Baines tipped it wide into the far corner. Lekermacki leaves for Minio at the left point, sent it down the wall. Barteau breaks up the cycle and goes behind his own goal for Ben Zalotti. Zalotti up the near side for Lambert. Heavy rink wide pass picked up off the boards by Kevin He, driving wide around Felton, forced behind the net. But King follows up, gets the puck back to Barteau at the line. Long shot blocked in front by Minio. Rebound collected by Lambert in the left circle. Trying to pass back to the point, broken up by Ratu. Sends ahead for Lekermacki. Chance for a 2-on-1. Lekermacki back to Ratu, right wing with a quick shot. DiVincentis made the save. Let out a rebound and didn't know where it was. But it was picked up by Lambert, and the Jets clear into neutral ice.
Vancouver jumping on the fact that Lambert had kind of ran out of options at the top of the offensive zone and probably knew there was a good percentage chance that he was going to try to send that D-to-D pass, and picked it off and went back the other way.
Here's Ulrichsen, right wing across the Winnipeg line, using his reach to send it to the front of the goal. Bounced off a skate and wide as Ty Mueller was driving the net. Ulrichsen still with it, left corner. Banks it for Danila Klimovich, up the right wing wall. Klimovich centering pass. Felton sneaking in from the left point, couldn't tip it on target, and Misselbacher gets it ahead for Lopinen to the Vancouver line. Left wing Julian dumps it off the end, glass wide of the goal. Vilmer Ulrichsen far corner. Leaves for Kirill Kudryavtsev, and now on to the near side for Parker Alkos. Alkos to center, dumps it in. DiVincentis out of the goal to handle. Clears it around to the far side. Puck is picked up in stride by Mark Lewinsky. Carries across the Vancouver blue line and dumps it in. Jets trying to forecheck. Minio gets it off the glass and out to center. Kuzma to the red line. Throws it into space, far boards. Lewinsky knocked down Felton, but the Canucks clear it back the other way. Salamonson in his own end. Pounds it off the boards to center. Deflects past Arntzen back deep into the Vancouver zone. And he'll take it behind his own net. Arntzen with a stretch pass to center. Riley Patterson can't settle the pass. Braden Yeager attempting to cut back the other way. Left the puck behind. And now Patterson goes far boards for Pedersen. Say that 5 times fast. And Pedersen tips it in deep. Now here's Yeager. Counter-attacking with speed. Across the Vancouver line. Lifts it behind the net. Arntzen back to it for the Canucks. Arntzen to Glover. Drops to Sasson. Here come the Canucks. Chance for a 3-on-2. Sasson has a give and go with Bloom on the left wing. Driving wide of the boards. Long wrist shot sailed wide of the target. And rims around the wall all the way back deep into the Canuck end.
Been a couple of situations in this game where Ulrichsson's used his size to his advantage, both physically and in the offensive zone.
Now here's Anhorn with a rink-wide pass. Puck thrown to the goal off the right wing by He off the bench, and Young made a good save off the pad. Sasson to center for the Canucks. Dumps it in. DiVincentis out of his goal to handle. Plays it into the far corner. Josh Bloom after it to the forecheck. Lost it to Hunter Mayo. Mayo around to the near side. Anhorn gets it up the boards. Kevin He lifts it all the way down the ice, and Kudryavtsev wins the race with Ben King. It's icing against Winnipeg. 4:03 into the third period. The Canucks and Jets tied at 2 at the Young Stars Classic.
Can finish that thought on Ulrichsson. Yes, you know, you're going to have that big body. You want to be physical with it, but in the offensive zone, it can also be an asset, and he showed why on his last shift as he's able to use his big frame to be able to protect the puck. You could see him just able to create a little bit more space for himself just by extending that arm out, use that length, and use that reach.
Canucks win the draw in the Winnipeg zone. Leckermacky behind the Jets net. Centers for Ratu. Threw it into the crease. It bounces high slot. Minio tried a shot blocked by Lambert, and the Jets have numbers to center. He left wing to the Vancouver line. Centering pass. High slot. Settled on the backhand by King, who shot it off the outside of the goal. And now here come the Canucks the other way. It's Leckermacky leading the rush on right wing. Gains the offensive blue line. Dumps it behind the net. Baines and Ratu will go after it to the forecheck, but it's Lambert who comes away with it. Clears to the point, not out. Held in by Alkos. Try to feed to the left circle for Ratu. That he tipped to the corner and now rims it around to Baines on the right wing side. Arshdeep Baines tied up on the wall with Salamonson, and that allowed Lambert to clear the zone. Now here's Elias Pettersson back the other way. Drop pass for Ratu. Room in the slot. Shoots. He just missed. Past the stick side of DiVincentis. Really good look for Ratu in the middle of the ice. Kuzmin near corner for Lopinen up the boards. Julian was there too. Jets can't get it out. Baines does well to protect it at the right point. Rink wide backhand pass. Left circle for Arntzen. Drops to Klimovich covering of the line. And he'll dump it cross ice into the right corner. Ty Mueller battling with Kuzmin. Protecting the puck well. Spins away from the check. Behind the net. Centering pass. It's loose to the crease. And DiVincentis is able to cover up and get the whistle.
More pushing and shoving in front. I think Lewinsky kind of just dumped Ulrichsson just with a little stick to the skates. But for Winnipeg, it's a couple of things that have kind of transferred over from the second period. A couple of turnovers has led to Vancouver being able to spend some time in the offensive zone. Most recent example here is this puck to the front of the net nearly goes off Salamonson and back toward DiVincentis, but Jets goaltender able to nab it and get his glove on top of it.
As the Canucks try to build off the momentum they created late in the second period with the 2 quick goals to tie the game. If you're just joining us, Lambert and Chibrikov gave Winnipeg a 2-0 lead. As there's Ulrichsson with a good shooting chance. High slot on the Winnipeg zone, missed the target. Before Bloom and Pettersson scored for Vancouver late in the second period to tie the game, and that's where we sit right now. Kudryavtsev with a shot through traffic from the line, missed the net. Alkos holds in left wing for the Canucks. Zalotti deep in his own zone. Watched by Klimovich, got it out to center. Alkos goes rink wide near side for Kudryavtsev. Back into the Winnipeg end on right wing. Kudryavtsev on his backhand. Back to the top of the point. Quick shot by Patterson coming off the bench was blocked, but he gets it again left point and dumps it into the corner. Cooper Walker down low. Centering pass. Josh Bloom, or rather that's Romani to the net. He scores! Nice little release in tight from Anthony Romani. He's got his first of the weekend, and the Canucks have their first lead of the afternoon.
Scoring on his OHL goaltender in Dom DiVincentis, so that group chat will get lit up right away. after the game. But it's just a nice pair of hands in tight. We talked earlier in the game the offensive prowess that Romani has, and he's just able to. The puck is able to come out of the corner. Romani just drives into the front and doesn't give up on it. His initial shot doesn't get to the net, but he's able to find that loose puck and then lift it up into the top part of the net. Just a nice little mini toe drag there to open it up for him.
And it's 3-2 Canucks on the goal by Anthony Romani. The playback underway. Max Sasson dumps it into the Winnipeg zone. Bloom on the forecheck, gets it free to Sasson, far side, centering pass, Bloom top of the crease, couldn't jam it home. Comes back to Arnson, right point. For Sasson down the wall. Stripped to the puck by Yeager, played it through his own crease across to the far side for Chibrikov. His lead feed is tipped into the Vancouver end by Colby Barlow. Joe Arnson behind his own net. Pass middle of the ice for Bloom, lays out to poke it to center for Ty Glover, and he'll gain the red line and lift it in deep.
That's a key play by Bloom, because if he doesn't do that, Jets have Yeager all by himself on the other side of the ice. Just a little chip pass to him, and he's in by himself.
Lambert battling for the puck inside the Vancouver line. Got it back to Kuzman. Throws it into the right corner. Ben King after it. Pinned to the end boards by Ratu. Lambert cycles it free to Kuzman of the line. Stood up by Leckermack. It deflects off a stick to Minio. Stretch pass up the right wing. Leckermack missed it, but icing is waved off, and Ratu's after it left corner. Pushed into the boards by Salomonson. King back to get it for the Jets. Goes middle of the ice for Kuzman. Then off the glass up the near side, and a slow roller goes back into the Canucks zone. Minio, pursued by King, did well to spin off the check and get it to Ratu at center. Lifts it off the glass right wing. Baines tips it in deep. And we'll battle with Bartow in the right wing corner on the forecheck. Almost at the 8-minute mark, third period. Canucks lead the Jets 3-2. At the Young Stars Classic in Penticton. The penultimate game of the weekend for both teams. DiVincentis out of his goal for Bartow behind the net. Sent near side for Barlow, but there's a turnover in the slot. Ulrichson's got it left circle with a shot that bounced off a skate and wide of the net. And Chibrikov to center for Yeager. Couldn't settle the pass. Chibrikov steps up on Klimovich as the Canucks send the puck back the other way. And Bartow gets it out to center for Lopinen, who's hit hard by Alkos. Canucks regain possession as a result. Klimovich across the Winnipeg line. Pass out of the reach of Ulrichson, who chases it down on the boards and drops to Ty Mueller. It was grabbed as he tried to carry to the corner by Dylan Anhorn. Plenty of the fans in attendance wanted a call. The referees don't oblige them, and the Jets dump it back the other way. Arnson back to it in his own end. Got it ahead for Ulrichson. Clears it out to center. And Anhorn in his own zone fires left wing for Lewiski. Long shot right on. Snared by the glove hand of Ty Young. Exactly 9 minutes into this third period. Canucks lead the Jets 3-2. And some more hard feelings here after the whistle. Lewiski in the midst of things should be unsurprising.
It was early on in the game where he was involved physically on the end boards, but really since then there hadn't been a whole lot. And now in the last couple of periods here, Lewiski's kind of been a little bit more involved in the front of the net.
9 minutes gone, third period. Canucks lead the Jets 3-2 in Penticton.
Get ready. The highly anticipated Hitman Home Opener is Sunday, September 29th. Be there as the Calgary Hitmen mark the start of their 30th season. Cheer them on against the Lethbridge Hurricanes and take part in home opener celebrations like player introductions to kick off another year of Hitman hockey. Plus, it's Sunday Fun Day presented by Brookfield Residential with reduced ticket prices, fun concourse activities, and food and beverage deals. Your team, our community. Score your tickets today at hitmanhockey.com/tickets.
Hey everyone, it's Leon Draisaitl here. Told you guys last year that Oktoberfest was going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be even better this year. Go get your tickets at ticketmaster.com. Prost.
Flames fans, The future is here. With the announcement of our new arena, Scotia Place, there's no better time to become a Calgary Flames season ticket member. Enjoy savings of up to 40% off single game ticket prices and get exclusive access to events and opportunities to meet the team. Plus, you'll be first in line for Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Be a part of the action live and experience every moment from your very own seat. Head to CalgaryFlames.com/tickets today to secure your spot.
Brendan Batchelor and Mitchell Clinton back with you in Penticton. As we have the ice crew hard at work here, working to switch out a broken pane of glass.
They've been wildly efficient, too.
Yeah, this is honestly, and not throwing shade at anyone here, they have worked faster to this point than most NHL crews would replacing a piece of glass.
Yeah, they had 4 people involved at one point, and then that is a well-oiled machine that they got going on down there. Looks like they're just about done, banging in the last stanchion into place. And right as I say that, it pops out. They got to do it all over again.
Maybe we jinxed them. Maybe we jinxed them. Said that they were efficient here, and they're not quite done yet. But nonetheless, Canucks up 3-2 here in the third period against the Jets. As I said, both of these teams still have one game left here. Jets will face the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow, a matinee matchup, 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Central. And then it's the Canucks and the Flames to conclude the weekend, 2:30 Pacific, 4:30 Central in the afternoon. What better way to spend a Monday in September than watching hockey?
Oh, exactly. Come on in for the early morning game at 11. There's talking to a few of the players about it. So, usually if your puck drop time isn't, is anything after 5, usually morning skate's pretty much guaranteed. Winnipeg's first game was at 4 local. So they had the morning skate against Calgary at 8:45. I was asking some of the players, would this categorize as the earliest morning skate you've ever had in your career? And they all nodded their head. But they said the biggest challenge, the ones that have been here, is the 11 a.m. game, because your body does not want pasta at 8 a.m. So that's the thing that they're having to adjust to.
The crew has the pane of glass replaced. Nice round of applause from the fans, and we can get this game back underway with a face-off in the Vancouver zone to our left near circle. Won by the Jets, back to Kuzman from the line, who ripped it wide of the net. And Josh Bloom for Vancouver will lead the rush to center, lifting it high in the air to the Winnipeg line. Glover on the forecheck. Battling on the end boards with Solomonson. Comes up with the puck left wing side, winds up the wall. Protecting it on his backhand, leaves for Arntzen at the point. Joe Arntzen goes behind the net for Josh Bloom. Now for Glover. To the far corner for Sasson, tried a centering feed. Glover missed a one-timer, but Felton holds in on the right wing. Christian Felton to the near corner for Max Sasson. Throws on the brakes, bottom of the right circle. Fanned on a shot attempt, but lifted the stick of Solomonson out of his hands. Jets are away to center nonetheless. Lopinen impeded a little bit by Felton as he tried to break away. Now lays a hit on the far side, right in front of the benches on Cooper Walker, but the Canucks have the puck. Here's Patterson, right wing to the Winnipeg line. Fires it right on target, and it's held out by Dom DiVincentis.
Jets having trouble getting through the neutral zone with really any speed whatsoever, and part of it is because they haven't really been able to break out too efficiently. Vancouver, full marks to them for their forecheck and the offensive zone time that they've been able to generate, but outside of maybe a rush opportunity, Winnipeg hasn't had a whole lot going on here in the third period.
We are exactly at the midway point of the final frame of regulation. The Canucks control off the draw in the Winnipeg zone. Alcos with a shot from the line. I think Walker got a piece of that, tipped it on target, but DiVincentis into his butterfly held it out. Now here's Yeager winning a battle down low. He'll accelerate right wing to center. Throws it up the left side for Colby Barlow. He's pushed hard into the wall by Alcos on the back check. But the Canucks can't clear. Bartow with it right wing. Attempted a shot that was blocked. Chibrikov gets it. Turns and fires from the circle. Young made the save, and Kudryavtsev takes possession for Vancouver. Kirill Kudryavtsev content to lift this all the way down on DiVincentis, so there's no icing, and the Canucks can complete a change. The Jets will do so as well.
Young makes a really nice stop there. It looked like the shot came from distance, but I think it got redirected on the way to him. He's able to kick it to the side.
Baines at center, ahead for Ratu. Now here's Lekermäki, right wing into the Winnipeg zone. Fanned on his release, and the puck never got through on DiVincentis. Zalotti, near corner. Lifts it off the glass to center. Arntzen takes it back in his own end for the Canucks and fires back quickly for Lekermäki. Right wing. Into the Jets' end. Dumps it to the corner. Ratu's after it on the forecheck. Protecting it in a battle with Hunter Mayo. Passes back to the line, but it comes out to center for Christian Felton. Felton in his own end. For Minio on the far side. Pass to center, knocked down by Lekermäki. He's tied up in a battle with Anhorn, and now Minio gets it in his own zone. Right wing for Felton with speed to the Winnipeg line. Top of the circle, fanned on a shot. As he's pushed to the corner by Mayo, comes back to the line for Klimovich. His long wrister goes wide of the net. Jets get it out to center. Klimovich has it at his own line. Quick up for Felton. Back into the Winnipeg end on right wing. Tried a shot, bounces off a stick, and is collected middle of the ice by Kevin He. Play it ahead for King to the Vancouver line. Couldn't get it deep, though, and Ulrichsen is back the other way for the Canucks. He'll chip it in. Salomonson, far corner, gets it ahead to Kuzmin, gave it away. It's sent out front for Ulrichsen to the backhand. He scores! Nice hands in tight for the big man, Vilmer Ulrichsen. Scores on the backhand to extend the Canuck lead to 2.
And Vancouver taking advantage of the fact Winnipeg not able to get a clean zone entry, and Vancouver comes back the other way. We talked about Ulrichsen using his size. He's able to do it here as this puck comes down to him. He's got that position on Salomonson, and Salomonson's not small himself, but Ulrichsen able to stick that body out, and no matter what reach Salomonson has, it's not going to be enough to get to Ulrichsen's stick, and he makes no mistake in tight.
Nice little pass from Klimovich out of the corner to spring him loose to the front of the net. Now the Canucks have scored 4 as yet unanswered goals as Ty Young is called into action immediately back at the other end of the ice. 7:46 remaining third period. It's the Canucks 4 and the Jets nothing in Penticton.
Anticipated Hitman Home Opener is Sunday, September 29th. Be there as the Calgary Hitmen mark the start of their 30th season. Cheer them on against the Lethbridge Hurricanes and take part in home opener celebrations like player introductions to kick off another year of Hitman hockey. Plus, it's Sunday Fun Day presented by Brookfield Residential with reduced ticket prices, fun concourse activities, and food and beverage deals. Your team, our community. Score your tickets today at hitmanhockey.com/tickets.
Hey everyone, it's Leon Draisaitl here. Told you guys last year that Oktoberfest was going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be even better this year. Go get your tickets at ticketmaster.com. Prost!
Flames fans, the future is here. With the announcement of our new arena, Scotia Place, there's no better time to become a Calgary Flames season ticket member. Enjoy savings of up to 40% off single game ticket prices and get exclusive access to events and opportunities to meet the team. Plus, you'll be first in line for Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Be a part of the action live and experience every moment from your very own seat. Head to CalgaryFlames.com/tickets today to secure your spot.
Brendan Batchelor and Mitchell Clinton back with you from the South Okanagan Events Center in Penticton. Fans of all ages enjoying this matinee matchup with the Vancouver Canucks leading the Winnipeg Jets 4-2 after third period goals from Anthony Romani and Vilmer Ulrichsen.
So lots of families in the stands as I was making my way around at intermissions and whatnot. It's cool, like, I mean, I still have memories of going to Brandon Wheat Kings games when I was a little kid, you know, so to see the NHL jerseys and whatnot out there, I'm sure it's a real fun afternoon for everybody here.
It was Coquitlam Express games for me, so
there you go.
We all have similar stories regardless of what part of the country we're from. Now the Canucks will break out to center. Joe Arntzen dumping it behind the Winnipeg net, and Josh Bloom pursues on the forecheck left corner, battling with Bartow down low. Sasson in to help out, gets it free. Cycles back below the goal line. Bloom lays a bump on Chibrikov into the end boards, but the Jets get it. And Braden Yeager's out to center. Ratu on the back check, strips him of the puck. Here's Baines, right wing, into the Winnipeg zone. Stops up at the point, cycles down the wall to Ratu. Play it on the backhand behind the Jets net. Felton left corner. Leaves below the goal line. Zalotti breaks up the cycle. Pushed to the wall by Lekermacki, but he fights through the check and wires it off the glass and out to center. Christian Felton quickly ahead for Ratu, making moves into the high slot. Quick shot right on a blocker save by DiVincentis. Turns it aside, but not out of the zone as Minio keeps it alive left point. Lekermacki forechecking right wing side. Ratu there as well. Instead, it's Julian out to center for the Jets, pushing Felton back into his own end. Jacob Julian centering pass out of the reach of Misselbacher, who's got it on the right wing half wall. Dumps it below the goal line for Ratu. He'll leave behind his own net for Christian Felton. We'll take time on the breakout with both teams completing changes. Just over 6 minutes remaining third period. Canucks with a 4-2 lead on the Jets at the Young Stars Classic in Penticton. Salamonson back to the puck behind his own goal, throws it up the wall. Riley Patterson chips it deep. Cooper Walker tied up on the wall by Salamonson, got it back to the point. Now Alcos with a shot from the near side, missed the target after receiving the pass from Kudryavtsev, and he'll hold it at the left point where Kirill Kudryavtsev. For Patterson down low, now back to Kudryavtsev with a shot from the line, deflected wide. And Riley Patterson's after it right corner. Jets break up the cycle. Kevin He goes behind his own net, but Kudryavtsev pinches in from the left point and keeps it alive down low. There's a centering pass in front. Alcos sneaking in from the right point, couldn't receive it cleanly as Cooper Walker tried to find him in front, and the Jets get it out to center. Walker dumps it back in from the red line. And Winnipeg will have time to break out with the Canucks completing a wholesale change.
It's kind of how the last few minutes, especially this third period, has been for the Winnipeg Jets. Defend the majority of the shift, and then you're only able to get it out to the red line or the blue line.
Now here's Chibrikov into the Vancouver zone, trying to drive through the defense. Lost the puck. Mayo's got it right point for Barlow in the far corner. Colby Barlow. Backhand pass to Chibrikov. Lets it go for Yeager behind the net. Into the high slot for Barlow. Again fires it deep. Chibrikov behind the goal on his backhand. Spins to his forehand, far side, far circle, one-time chance. Held out by Young. Then another opportunity, this time for Yeager for the left circle, and Young makes a tremendous desperation save, sliding to his right to hold it out. He stopped Mayo on the first chance, and he denies Yeager on the second opportunity to keep it 4-2 Canucks.
That's a great save, and Anhorn showing some patience at the top of the line. Instead of pounding that rebound right back, he takes his time with it. So the first chance comes here, and it kicks back out. There's a little bit of patience. He sets it up. I'm not sure if Yeager got everything on that or not, or if he was just trying to just get it on net as quickly as he could. He got pretty good wood on it. Young just able to get across.
Had to take maybe one extra touch there before he released it. If it had been a one-timer, it might have snuck past Young on the short side.
Yeah, exactly. It just shows, right, the fine line of whether you're going to beat one of these goaltenders or not.
Scramble draw goes the way of the Canucks. Josh Bloom far boards. Gets it out to center for Max Sasson, who gains the red line and dumps it in. Walton behind his own net. Got it up the far boards. It's cleared up the ice by Lewinsky, but it deflected into one of the benches and out of play. With 4:20 left in the third period, and the Canucks up 4-2 on the Jets.
And that shift from the Barlow, Yeager, Chibrikov line was probably Winnipeg's best in this period. They were finally able to spend a little bit of time down there in that Vancouver zone. Now, of course, you're down 4-2 to the Canucks. If you're Winnipeg, you're trying to spend as much time down there as you can, try to get some momentum, generate some chances, and if one goes, you never know. We've seen 1 2-goal lead in this game get erased, but obviously time is of the essence if you're Winnipeg right now.
Kuzman at his own line. After the Winnipeg faceoff win, sent it up the right wing. Julian to the net to the forehand, and Young kept the pad down to hold it out. Nice power move to the middle of the ice from Jacob Julian nonetheless. And the Canucks are able to clear under pressure. Bartow, left wing for Lopinen. Bounces it in on Young. He'll block it and play it safe. Smothering for the whistle with under 4 minutes remaining in this third period.
Jacob Julien scored in the first game and then has another great chance here. He had a tremendous playoffs with London, 18 points in 18 playoff games, back-to-back hat tricks in the second round. So Julien obviously was one of those Jets prospects that took just a huge step last season, and obviously trying to build on that, and his confidence offensively is certainly showing in this tournament.
Julien, a good example of perseverance, played Double-A hockey when he was 14, was cut from the London Triple-A team when he was 15, and yet here he is at the Young Stars Classic wearing an NHL uniform and a 5th-round pick of the Jets back in 2023. Gives me hope, maybe. You're never out of it.
Well, and if that's not enough, he was a pickleball doubles champion at the development camp as well. So
Ratu to center, left wing with room into the Winnipeg zone. Low shot kicked out by DiVincentis. And the Jets come away with the puck. Jaeger to center. Bounces it to the Vancouver line. DiVincentis was heading to the bench for the extra attacker, but the Canucks break it up, and he's got to stay in. Here's Lekermäki, right circle, hard wrist shot. That didn't miss by much. Past the glove side. Now Ratu, left corner. Battling with Zalotti. And the Jets come away with it. Jaeger lifting it off the boards to center. Kudryavtsev takes it down. For Alkos right wing, he'll lift it back in deep. Canucks will change, and the Jets will have a chance to try and break out. Zalotti for King on the near side. Passes to Lopinen, right wing to center. There goes DiVincentis to the bench. It'll be 6-on-5 for the Jets. But the Canucks break it up. Romani's got it at his own line. Try to wind to center. Dispossessed by Julien, who's back in on the left wing. 2:45 left in the third period. It's Vancouver 4 and Winnipeg 2 as Lambert goes to the goal. Lopinen tried to find him out of the corner. It was tipped back to the line where Salamonson tried a shot that was blocked. Now Kuzmin holds in left point. Throws it down the near side. Lambert battling for the puck in the corner. Lost it to Alkos, who's content to fire it all the way down the ice. It goes wide of the empty net. And Kuzmin back to it. Draws the whistle for the icing call, and the Jets with a chance to set up a play they might like off the faceoff here. 6-on-5 with 2:24 left in the third.
Winnipeg's had a couple of looks ever since Vancouver went up 4-2. Misselbacher had a really great look right after it was made 4-2, and another one that just missed his blade. And of course the Jaeger opportunity, Julien coming in as well. So they've had their chances. Young's been able to stand tall.
Face off to the left of the Vancouver goaltender. It's Walker and Jaeger on the faceoff, and Jaeger wins it back to Salamonson down the right wing board. Centers for Barlow with a shot. It hit a crowd of bodies in front. It's cleared all the way down. A slow roller is going to miss the net and be icing yet again, as some of the fans wearing blue and green here in attendance this afternoon were willing that clearing attempt from Riley Patterson to try and curl towards the net.
Well, it's sometimes when you get that puck on its end, if it was kind of waffling back and forth, but if it ever gets up on that edge, like it's hard to tell what way it's going to turn. It's like Winnipeg probably going to take a timeout here to set something up like we were thinking they might.
And so the teams will return to their respective benches, which again gives us a chance to remind you, 2 more games here at the Young Stars Classic tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central. It's the Jets and the Oilers, and then 2:30 Pacific, 4:30 Central, the Flames and the Canucks to wrap things up.
And that begins the long travel day for the Jets prospects as they'll make their way back to Winnipeg after that game, scheduled to land just after midnight. So prospects will rest up, and then the ones getting ready for Jets training camp, well, that's going to start pretty much right away when they get back. So play 3 games in 4 days and turn around and get ready to prove yourself once again.
Canucks on ice sessions for their training camp set to begin Thursday here in Penticton. And talking to people in the community here, eagerly anticipating the arrival of the NHL club. As the Canucks win the faceoff in their own zone, and Kudryavtsev gets it high off the glass. This will go all the way down and miss the net again and be icing again. Canucks tried to make a change, but will not be allowed to, as the officials are going to have to sort that out. Although Pedersen, Kudryavtsev, and Glover all onto the ice, and Glover was skating across, and he was trying to hide a little bit, but the officials found him out and have sent him back to the bench.
Yeah, and ever since you haven't been able to change on icings, it's been fun to watch as players try to find a way to bend that rule and try to figure out ways to get undetected. But with 4 officials on the ice, sometimes it's way harder than it seems.
Not always, though.
No,
We've seen some.
It can be done.
It can be done. Canucks win the draw. Kudryavtsev tried to get it out of the zone. It bounced off Salamonson and into the Vancouver bench. And an argument now between the officials and the Vancouver bench about where the faceoff is going to be. And because it hit Salamonson before it went out, they are going to bring it out over the blue line. But they're going to leave DiVincentis on the bench.
Jaeger's been pretty solid in the faceoff dot throughout the game. They're really riding them right now.
Sasson wins this faceoff, though. Back to Pettersson. Near side for Arnson. Clears it ahead to Sasson. And he banks it to the Winnipeg line, but there's Braden Jaeger with the puck. Winding back up the right wing with speed. Fanned on an attempt to clear it deep. Salamonson follows up ahead to Jaeger, and he'll dump it in on the backhand. Arnson near corner. Tried a hard rim around the glass. People looking around. I don't know where the puck ended up. I think it might have gone up into the netting. And so the face-off will remain in the Vancouver zone. Now just 1:38 left third period. Canucks leading the Jets 4-2.
And I wondered how long that Coach Mark Morrison would keep that stacked line of Jets prospects on the ice before moving to a different line, give them time to rest. Jacob Julian hops out. Kevin He's someone you certainly want on the ice for his forechecking abilities.
Kevin He, the highest Chinese-born player drafted in the NHL after the Jets took him in the 4th round in Las Vegas this past summer. Canucks able to clear into the Winnipeg zone. And it's Anhorn behind his own net. Middle of the ice for King. Through the center ice circle. Gains the red line and dumps it in. Arnson back to it below the goal line. Clears it far corner, but Bartow holds in right point. Left side for Anhorn. Back to Bartow. Bottom of the right circle. Centering pass deflected over the goal by Lopinen after it was Julian that sent it out front. Canucks will ice it again. Or icing's waved off as it was a slow roller. Bartow back to it, and we're now into the final minute of the 3rd. Anhorn ahead for King. Lifts it off the glass and in deep. Minio takes it behind his own net. And is content to throw it all the way around the boards back down the ice. Salamonson couldn't settle it, so there's no icing, and he's got to chase it back behind his own goal. Salamonson ahead for Lambert. Rink wide left wing for Kuzman with room to skate to the Vancouver blue line. Driving wide on Felton. He poked the puck off his stick, forced him to the corner. Chibrikov after it down low, pinned to the boards by Archie Baines. 25 seconds left. Minio, Barlow, Jaeger all in the fight for the puck as well, but Baines doing a good job keeping it tied up along the end boards, and now we'll get a whistle as a result, which is interesting. That's something you rarely see in NHL games, but we've had it happen multiple times thus far throughout the weekend. There were a couple of them in the Vancouver-Edmonton game on Friday where the officials here are content to blow the whistle if players aren't moving it along the boards.
Well, and you think of how Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final ended. It was a puck in the corner, and I think Florida kept Edmonton pinned there for 25 seconds almost. Like, it was moving around, but not very much. Obviously, the whistle here putting that puck battle to bed.
Canucks come up with a puck. Here's a chance for the empty net. Just fired wide by Cooper Walker from inside his own zone. And that'll be icing now with just 5.6 seconds left. And the result all but decided here in this game this afternoon.
Now 4 unanswered from Vancouver after the Winnipeg Jets took their second 2-0 lead of this tournament. Vancouver just flexing a little bit, put a little bit of forecheck pressure in on the Winnipeg Jets and took advantage of some great opportunities.
And that is going to do it as the Canucks improve to 2-0, and Barlow and Ratu have a bit of an exchange at the horn. Wax back and forth. But the Canucks will have a chance to be the only team that leaves this weekend undefeated when they face the Flames tomorrow. Jets are 1-1, and the Canucks take this one this afternoon 4-2.
Great hockey game, though, honestly, like for how early it is in the year for everybody. I mean, really competitive, and saw a lot of skill and even some great defensive plays throughout as well. So obviously both teams sitting at a really good spot as they prepare to close out the tournament tomorrow.
28 saves on 30 shots for Ty Young, the victorious Vancouver goaltender, and the Jets will now have to quickly refocus for that early game tomorrow against the Edmonton Oilers. Again, 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Central. The Jets and the Oilers from Penticton, and then the Canucks and the Flames in the afternoon at 2:30 Pacific. Well, it was a game that the fans enjoyed here this afternoon in Penticton. Plenty of goals, plenty for fans of both teams to cheer about, but in the end it's the Canucks with 4 unanswered goals overcoming a 2-0 second period deficit that win this one 4-2 inside the South Okanagan Event Center. Just one day left here at the Young Stars Classic. It's been a great weekend so far, plenty of action remaining tomorrow, so make sure to join us for all the exciting prospect matchups that you'll see from the South Okanagan Event Center. For Mitchell Clinton, I'm Brendan Batchelor. Thanks for joining us this afternoon from Penticton.